37 climbers die before the floor bell finishes ringing. Their bodies slam across the black iron bridge, scattering weapons, broken shields, and enough blood to turn the entire walkway crimson. At the center of that absolute nightmare stands Tavian Rook, the corpse porter nobody bothered to evacuate. See, the Helix Tower does not treat death like a tragedy. It treats death like inventory. Every corpse inside the tower remains usable for exactly 60 seconds before the floor absorbs its remaining soul energy and reduces the body to gray crystal dust. Licensed necromancers can stop that process. Of course, completing a resurrection ritual normally takes almost 2 full minutes. Yeah, the tower's rules are deliberately cruel like that. The wealthy guild solved the problem by deploying preservation, priests, soul cages, and entire recovery squads. Poor climbers simply disappear. Tavian belongs to the second category. He wears no enchanted armor. He carries no legendary weapon. The only thing strapped across his back is a folding corpse rack covered in dried blood. Meet Tavian Rook, an unranked tower porter who has spent 6 years carrying heroes after their glorious victories. Or what remains of them. Right now, the so-called heroes are doing a spectacular job of becoming cargo. A massive horned creature lands on the bridge. Its 6 legs punch straight through the iron plating. Its skull is wrapped in white armor, while a glowing red mouth opens beneath its ribs. A grave maw. Floor 31's hidden execution beast. The monster is not supposed to appear during a licensed raid. Yet here it is, casually chewing through the front line of the Crown Descent Guild. One swordsman swings at its neck. The grave maw catches him between 2 claws. His body splits before his blade even lands. Another climber fires a lightning spear. The beast swallows the spell whole, then it spits the electricity back. 3 more bodies drop. Tavian counts every corpse without changing expression. 38, 39, 40. His hands keep attaching brass ownership tags to the dead, while the surviving climbers scream around him. That is his assignment. Tag the bodies, secure the equipment, protect the valuable corpses. Whether the porter survives is apparently a minor accounting detail. Rook! A furious voice cuts through the chaos. Vasca Rel stands behind a wall of armored guards near the bridge entrance. This ruthless woman is the master of Crown Descent, one of the 4 guilds controlling access to the upper tower. Her silver armor remains completely spotless. Naturally, she has not entered the fight herself. Move the platinum-ranked bodies first, Vasca orders. Leave the bronze trash. A wounded climber reaches toward her. His lower body is already missing. Vasca looks straight at him. Then she points toward a corpse wearing more expensive armor. Tavian understands immediately. He steps over the dying man. The climber grips his boot. Please. Our guy does not stop. Not because he agrees with Vasca. Deep down, he already knows the man is beyond saving. The tower's soul mark has turned black. Even a resurrection priest cannot pull him back now. Tavian reaches the platinum corpse and locks the rack around its shoulders. Vasca watches him struggle beneath the weight. A thin smile appears on her face. A porter is only useful when the bodies are heavier than his pride. Several guards laugh. The necromancer says nothing. Well, he is not a necromancer yet. According to the tower registry, Tavian has no class at all. 6 years ago, he enters the Helix Tower, hoping to awaken a combat path. The tower examines his blood, his bones, and his soul. Then it gives him nothing. No warrior class, no mage class, not even a crafting profession. Since then, Tavian survives by transporting corpses for people who consider him less valuable than the dead on his back. A new explosion tears through the bridge. The grave maw charges. Every surviving climber retreats at once. Tavian drops flat. A claw passes over his head and rips 4 guards apart. Their warm blood rains across his coat. He rolls beneath the monster's belly. The beast slams another leg downward. Our porter twists aside. The iron floor caves in beside his face. Close. Painfully close. Tavian drives a tagging spike into the monster's joint as he passes. The tiny brass needle looks completely useless against the massive beast. Vasca notices the movement. Her expression hardens. Stop damaging guild property. Apparently, she already considers the monster hers. That confidence is honestly ridiculous. The grave maw sweeps its armored tail. Tavian catches the corpse rack with both hands. He uses it like a shield. The impact launches him across the bridge. Metal cracks. His shoulder dislocates. The platinum corpse strapped to the rack takes most of the blow. It does not complain. Talk about a reliable coworker. Tavian hits the ground beside a woman in a dark blue cloak. She is still breathing. Barely. A broken spear runs through her stomach. Half her face is covered in blood. Tavian recognizes her immediately. Mira Quill, Crown Descent's route strategist. She is the one who calculates safe passages, floor rotations, monster migrations, and reset windows. Without Mira, Vasca would never have reached floor 31. Strangely, no healer moves toward her. Two priests stand less than 20 steps away. Neither even looks in her direction. Mira grabs Tavian's sleeve. Her fingers are already cold. The map. Her voice barely escapes. Tavian follows her gaze. A silver case lies beneath the broken railing. Vasca sees it too. Her face changes instantly. Retrieve the route archive. The command is not directed at the healers. It is directed at Tavian. Our guy glances at Mira. Then he glances at the case. That single movement tells him everything. Vasca never planned to rescue her strategist. She only wants the information inside that box. Mira understands as well. Her eyes lose their final trace of hope. Tavian bends down. For half a second, it looks like he is reaching for the wounded woman. Instead, his fingers close around the silver case. Mira stops breathing. The soul mark on her throat begins counting down. 60, 59, 58. Tavian stands. His face remains empty, but his thumb quietly presses against the blood covering Mira's route seal. A symbol transfers onto his glove, small, almost invisible, completely intentional. The grave maw roars again. The white armor around its skull splits open. Dozens of human faces push through the cracks. Those are not decorations, they are trapped souls. Every climber the beast devours becomes part of its armor, and the monster has eaten plenty. A squad of preservation priests finally rushes onto the bridge. They surround the valuable corpses and plant black candles between them. One priest begins the standard soul-binding sequence. First comes the soul catch, then the bone claim, finally, the command seal. Each phase requires 33 controlled breaths. One mistake destroys the corpse, one interruption releases the soul. The grave maw gives them both. It leaps directly into the ritual circle. Candles scatter. The priests panic. Their half-finished binding collapses in an instant. 5 corpses crumble into crystal dust. Orson Pell screams louder than anyone. This thin man in a red accounting robe is the official corpse auditor of the Last Rite Commission. He is not upset about the dead. He is upset about the lost resale value. Those bodies were registered assets. The grave maw crushes another corpse beneath its foot. Orson looks at Tavian as though the porter caused it. Do something, grave rat. Tavian calmly resets his dislocated shoulder against the railing. The joint snaps back into place. Orson recoils at the sound. Our boy flexes his fingers once. They still work. Good enough. The grave maw prepares another charge. A line of golden light suddenly cuts across the bridge. The monster stops. Not by choice. A massive barrier drops between the beast and the guild officers. For one hopeful second, the surviving climbers believe reinforcements have arrived. Then the barrier curves. It seals the officers on the safe side. Everyone else remains trapped with the monster. Floor Marshal Sarah Voss lowers her glowing hand. She controls the emergency gates on this level, and she has just locked more than 80 people inside. Vasca steps through the closing gap. Orson follows. The priests abandon their ritual and sprint after them. Tavian watches every one of them escape. Sarah meets his eyes from the other side. Stay behind the line, grave rat. The marshal smiles as the barrier thickens. The tower does not count your kind as climbers. The golden wall becomes solid. Silence spreads across the trapped survivors. Then the grave maw charges again. Absolute panic erupts. Climbers slam weapons against the barrier. Some scream Vasca's name. Others beg Sarah to reopen the gate. Nobody answers. Tavian does not waste his breath. He studies the bridge. The monster stands between the trapped climbers and the only stairwell. The emergency gate blocks the rear. The side rails overlook an endless shaft. Retreat is impossible. That leaves one option. Someone must kill the beast. Unfortunately, the strongest climber still breathing has only one arm. The second strongest is crawling. The third strongest is currently inside the grave maw's mouth. Things are not looking great. A cold pressure suddenly touches Tavian's spine. He turns. Mira's body lies exactly where he left it. Her soul mark reaches 23, yet a translucent shape now kneels beside the corpse. The figure has no face, no legs, only a flickering outline wrapped in torn blue light. Mira's ghost points toward the tagging spike buried in the grave maw's rear joint. Then a fragment of information enters Tavian's mind. Not words, a route, 3 steps left. Wait for the second claw, slide beneath the rib mouth, strike the hollow plate. The ghost vanishes, Tavian's gaze sharpens. Mira is dead. Her tactical instinct is not. Another message flashes across his vision. It is not written on a tower window. It appears deeper than that, burned directly into his soul. A god-level compatibility has been detected. The unregistered class Graveclock Sovereign begins awakening. Necromancer authority confirmed. Resurrection sequence acceleration set at 100 times the standard rate. Tavian stares at the grave maw. The monster tears another climber apart. A second alert follows. Each resurrection requires 3 completed stages: Soul Catch, Bone Claim, and Command Seal. Standard completion time is 99 breaths. Graveclock completion time is 1 breath. Mana cost remains unchanged. Corpse limitations remain unchanged. Memory damage remains possible. Our guy almost smiles. Almost. So the system does not make resurrection free. It does not grant infinite mana. It does not turn him into an untouchable god. It simply lets him finish before death can escape. Honestly, that is more than enough. Mira's countdown reaches 12. Tavian places one hand against her forehead. The trapped climbers barely notice. They are too busy dying. He takes a single breath. The soul catch locks. The bone claim settles. The command seal closes. All 3 phases finish before his chest rises again. Mira's corpse does not move. Instead, the blue ghost violently reappears behind him. Her broken outline becomes sharper. A thin silver thread connects her chest to his shadow. The newly awakened necromancer feels her awareness enter the soul link. Cold calculations flood his mind. Bridge width, monster speed, structural weakness, expected casualties, best survival route. Mira Quill cannot speak. She does not need to. Our hero turns exactly as the Grave Maw attacks. 1 step left. The first claw misses. 2 steps forward. The second claw smashes the floor behind him. Tavian slides beneath the creature's ribs. The red mouth opens. Hundreds of trapped souls scream from inside it. Our necromancer drives both hands into the hollow plate beneath its chest. He has no sword, no spell, no strength enhancement. So he rips the brass ownership tag from the platinum corpse rack and jams it into the opening. The Grave Maw jerks backward. Mira's ghost flashes another route. Tavian rolls away. A surviving archer sees the exposed plate. She fires without hesitation. The arrow punches through the gap. Black fluid erupts. The monster roars. For the first time, its health barrier cracks. The climbers freeze. Tavian points toward the wound. Hit that plate. That is all he says. No speech. No encouragement. No heroic nonsense. The survivors attack. Fire crashes into the opening. Steel follows, then lightning. The Grave Maw thrashes across the bridge, but Mira keeps feeding Tavian the rhythm of every movement. He signals left. The climbers dodge left. He lowers his hand. They duck beneath the tail. He closes his fist. Every remaining spell lands on the same wound. The monster begins losing control. But raw damage is not enough. The faces inside its skull armor start screaming. The trapped souls pour energy into the beast. Its wound closes. Its barrier rebuilds. The survivors stare in horror. Vasca watches from behind the golden wall. Her confidence returns immediately. He is delaying the inevitable. Chairman Dorian Kest stands beside her. This elegant old man controls every legal resurrection license beneath floor 50. No necromancer works without his approval. No corpse returns without his commission taking a share. Dorian studies Tavian with mild amusement. You are not qualified to command the dead. His voice carries through the barrier. You are barely qualified to carry them. Tavian hears every word. He also sees the black seal on Dorian's ring. The Grave Maw carries the same seal beneath its armor. Interesting. The hidden execution beast did not appear by accident. Someone released it, and the chairman already owns it. Our guy files that detail away. Then he changes the plan. Killing the beast first is inefficient. Its soul armor will keep repairing it. So Tavian reaches toward the screaming faces embedded in its skull. A new instinct moves through his fingers. Necromancer authority spreads like black smoke. The nearest trapped soul stops screaming. Then it turns toward him. The Grave Maw recoils. Tavian pulls. A ghost tears free from the monster's armor. Then another follows. Then 5 more. The beast's white plating begins collapsing. Mira circles above the bridge, silently marking the weakest soul chains. Our necromancer severs them one after another. The Grave Maw loses its stolen power brutally fast. Its legs buckle. The red mouth beneath its ribs opens in panic. Tavian walks straight toward it. The monster snaps at his head. He sidesteps. The massive jaws close on empty air. Our boy places one palm against the creature's exposed plate. The system immediately recognizes a dying elite target. Resurrection becomes available upon death. Expected ritual duration is 1 breath. Command capacity is currently insufficient. Tavian does not hesitate. He presses the brass tag deeper. The monster's damaged heart ruptures. The Grave Maw crashes onto the bridge. Its death shakes the entire floor. For several seconds, nobody moves. Then the tower bell rings. The hidden execution beast has been defeated. A reward announcement begins forming above the bridge. Tavian ignores it. The corpses around him are already counting down. Some have 40 seconds left. Others have less than 10. A normal necromancer might save 1. A legendary necromancer might save 3. Tavian looks across the blood-soaked bridge. 46 usable bodies remain. Mira's ghost hovers beside him. Her outline points toward the fallen fighters. Not the platinum corpses. Not the expensive ones. The strongest ones. The most useful ones. Our necromancer kneels and presses his blood-covered hand against the iron floor. Black lines explode beneath every corpse at once. The survivors stumble backward. Behind the golden barrier, Dorian's smile disappears. Vasca leans closer. Orson stops counting losses. Sarah's hand moves toward the emergency controls. Too late. Tavian takes one breath. 46 soul catches lock simultaneously. 46 bone claims burn across the bridge. 46 command seals slam shut. Every corpse opens its eyes. 46 dead climbers rise before the tower finishes announcing their deaths. Broken knees snap into place. Crushed ribs pull themselves together. Weapons slide across the blood-soaked bridge and return to lifeless hands. Every surviving climber falls silent. Behind the golden barrier, the 4 people responsible for this massacre stare at Tavian as though the corpse porter has just torn open the laws of the tower. He basically has. A resurrection ritual normally requires one necromancer to focus on one body. Tavian completes 46 rituals in a single breath. The result is not graceful. Some undead stand with crooked spines. Others drag shattered limbs behind them. One swordsman rises without a lower jaw. Still, every last one of them obeys. A system alert cuts across Tavian's vision. 46 temporary undead have been registered. Total command burden exceeds current soul capacity by 800%. Estimated control collapse occurs in 9 seconds. There it is, the catch. Our newly awakened necromancer can resurrect the dead 100 times faster. Unfortunately, speed does not magically give his soul enough room to command an army. The first corpse twitches. A second turns its weapon toward the nearest survivor. Mira's ghost circles above Tavian. Her blue fingers draw a sharp line across 3 bodies. Weakest combat value, highest command cost. Our guy understands instantly. He releases them. 3 command seals break. The corpses collapse. The remaining undead stabilize for half a second. Not enough. Tavian releases 5 more. Then 7. The pressure inside his skull drops from unbearable to merely brutal. 31 undead remain. The tower accepts the formation. A new notification burns across his sight. Command capacity has stabilized. Resurrection speed remains accelerated. Soul strain is severe. Further large-scale resurrection risks permanent spiritual damage. Tavian wipes blood from his nose. That warning is useful. He does not ignore limits. He measures them. The 31 undead turn toward him. Their eyes burn with dim gray light. These are not intelligent soldiers. They retain fragments of muscle memory, basic instincts, and whatever combat habits survived inside their bodies. The swordsmen still know how to swing. The archer still knows how to aim. The shield bearers remember how to stand in front of something valuable. That is enough. Tavian points toward the golden barrier. The undead form ranks. Dorian Kess takes 1 step backward. Vasca does not. She places a hand on her sword and forces a laugh. Temporary corpse puppets. Her voice echoes across the bridge. They will collapse before they reach us. Tavian looks at the barrier. Then he looks at the Gravemaw's body. The monster's soul mark still burns red. Its resurrection window has 52 seconds remaining. The creature is far too powerful for his current command capacity. Trying to raise it now would crush every existing seal and probably tear his soul apart. So our necromancer does something much smarter. He kneels beside the carcass and presses his palm against its white armor. Black smoke flows from the dead beast. The smoke condenses into a pulsing crimson sphere. A system message confirms the extraction. Elite soul fragment obtained. The soul cannot be commanded at the current tier. It may be stored, refined, or used to strengthen an existing undead. Tavian glances at Mira. Her ghost remains unstable. The edges of her cloak keep dissolving into blue sparks. She is intelligent. She is useful. And unlike the other undead, she does not consume normal command capacity. She is attached directly to his soul. That makes her the obvious choice. Our guy pushes the crimson fragment into the silver thread linking them. Mira's body arches in midair. The soul fragment spreads through her ghost like liquid fire. For the first time, her empty face develops 2 narrow points of white light. Her outline becomes clearer. The torn blue cloak lengthens behind her. A thin band of silver symbols wraps around one wrist. Mira raises that hand. A map of the entire bridge appears inside Tavian's mind. Not a memory, not a guess. A live tactical projection. Every person becomes a moving point. Every unstable section of iron glows red. Every possible route opens and closes in real time. The system recognizes her first upgrade. The silent tactical ghost has acquired route sight. She can now calculate short-range movement paths through the soul link. Talk about a completely unfair navigation tool. The golden barrier flickers. Sarah Voss is trying to strengthen it. Tavian sees the energy moving through the Marshal's control seal. He also sees the tagging spike still buried in the Grave Maw's rear joint. The spike carries Crown Descent's ownership mark. The beast carries Dorian's hidden commission seal. Both are now touching the same corpse. That connection gives our hero an idea. He pulls the spike free, then he drags it through the Grave Maw's blood. Vasca watches closely. Tavian deliberately lets her see the guild emblem on the brass. He snaps the spike in half. One piece disappears into his sleeve. The other lands beside the monster's heart. Then our guy places the silver route archive against the corpse. Mira's ghost stiffens. The case contains every legal path her guild has mapped during the last 7 years. It is worth more than most lower floor territories. Tavian cracks the lid open, only slightly. Enough for the tower to register its presence. A confirmation flashes across the air. Crown Descent Route Archive detected. Ownership signature confirmed. Vasca's eyes widen. There it is. The bait. She believes Tavian is trying to bind the archive to the Grave Maw's corpse. That would make the dead beast a living key to every secret route inside the case. A ridiculous plan. A desperate plan. Exactly the kind of plan an untrained corpse porter might attempt after accidentally awakening a necromancer class. Our guy makes it look even more convincing. He smears his own blood over the archive seal. Then he forces the 31 undead to form a protective ring around the body. Several of them stumble. One drops its sword. Tavian allows it. Vasca needs to see weakness. She needs to believe he has speed but no control. Dorian studies the ritual from behind the barrier. His expression slowly changes. He is attempting a corpse vault binding. The chairman sounds almost impressed. Orson Pell clutches his accounting tablet. That archive belongs to the guild. No, Dorian replies. If the binding finishes, it belongs to whoever controls the beast. Vasca turns toward him. And the beast belongs to the commission. A greedy silence passes between them. Perfect. They no longer care that Tavian can resurrect the dead 100 times faster. They care about stealing what they think he is creating. Mira sends another route through the soul link. A cracked support beam beneath the bridge glows inside Tavian's mind. 3 impacts will break it. Our necromancer gives a silent command. 4 undead rush toward the barrier. Sarah raises both hands. Golden light explodes outward. The first corpse disintegrates. The second loses its head. The third reaches the wall and strikes once. The fourth strikes twice. Sarah crushes it before the third blow lands. Vasca laughs again. Pathetic. Tavian does not react. He sends 6 more. The first 5 die against the barrier. The 6th swings at Sarah's position. The attack misses completely. Its blade hits the floor. The third impact lands on the hidden support beam. The bridge groans. A section of iron drops into the shaft. The golden barrier loses its lower anchor. Sarah's smile vanishes. Tavian raises one finger. The remaining undead charge, not toward the officers. Toward the walls. Shield bearers slam into support columns. Swordsmen strike exposed bolts. The archer fires into suspension cables. Our guy is not trying to break through the barrier. He is destroying the bridge around it. The marshal understands too late. Stop him, Vasca steps forward. Dorian grabs her shoulder. No. His eyes remain fixed on the silver archive beside the Grave Maw. Let the porter complete the binding. Orson stares at him. The entire bridge is collapsing. The archive will survive. That is exactly what Tavian wants them to believe. The floor shakes violently. Surviving climbers sprint toward the stairwell beyond the dead monster. Mira guides them through falling debris. Nobody notices the ghost. They only see Tavian pointing at gaps before they open. One by one, they escape. Our necromancer remains behind. The bridge tears away from the wall. Sarah releases the barrier and retreats. Vasca, Orson, and Dorian follow her into the protected corridor. The entire battlefield tilts. Bodies slide toward the endless shaft. The Grave Maw's corpse begins moving with them. Tavian plants his boots against a broken beam. He presses one palm to the monster. A black storage seal spreads beneath its armor. The system warns him immediately. Corpse storage is incomplete. Current Soul Authority can preserve 1 elite carcass for 6 hours. Resurrection remains impossible until command capacity increases. Good enough. The massive body collapses into a strip of black bone no longer than his hand. The silver archive disappears with it. At least, that is what the watching officers believe. In reality, the archive case sliding into the seal is empty. Mira's real maps already move through the soul link as glowing fragments. Before her death, she transfers the route seal onto Tavian's glove. When he touches the case, her ghost extracts the archive's contents directly. The bait only needs the shell. Tavian lets the black bone strip fall. It lands on a lower bridge fragment hanging beneath the main platform. Visible. Reachable. Completely convincing. Then the upper bridge breaks. Our guy falls. Vaska watches him disappear into darkness. Orson leans over the edge. No body rises back into view. No resurrection follows. Only the black bone strip remains lodged between two twisted beams far below. Dorian's eyes shine. The binding succeeded. Sarah looks uneasy. The porter could still be alive. Vaska shakes her head. He had no movement skill. She points toward the collapsing shaft. And no one survives that fall. The guildmaster turns toward Dorian. The corpse vault belongs to Crown Descent. Orson immediately objects. The commission owns the grave maw. Sarah steps between them. The marshal's office controls all assets recovered from an emergency zone. Three greedy predators begin arguing over the same piece of bait. None of them notices the shadow clinging beneath the broken bridge. Tavian hangs from an iron cable with one hand. Mira floats beside him. Her route sight reveals an abandoned maintenance ledge 30 feet below. Our necromancer releases his grip. He falls. Mira marks the exact moment. Tavian grabs a second cable. It swings him into the wall. His shoulder nearly dislocates again. He lands hard on the ledge. Pain shoots through both legs. Nothing breaks. Acceptable. Above him, the officers continue fighting over ownership rights. Our guy walks into the maintenance tunnel without looking back. The passage has not appeared on any public map for 12 years. Mira knows it because she once found the entrance and concealed it from Vaska. Turns out, the strategist never trusted her guildmaster. Smart woman. The tunnel descends beneath floor 31. Rotten cables hang from the ceiling. Dead tower insects crunch beneath Tavian's boots. The air smells like rust and old graves. After 200 steps, the passage opens into a massive circular chamber. Thousands of discarded corpses lie stacked inside. Some wear broken guild uniforms. Others are nothing but skeletons wrapped in numbered chains. This is where the Last Right Commission dumps bodies that cannot be sold, taxed, or resurrected legally. An entire graveyard hidden beneath the tower's official floors. Tavian stops at the edge. Mira floats forward. Her silver wrist symbols flicker. Route sight expands across the chamber. Hundreds of bodies still contain weak soul residue. Dozens retain usable combat memory. 9 carry elite fragments. One skeleton beneath the central pile gives off something far older. Our necromancer takes a slow breath. The system reacts instantly. Unclaimed corpse field detected. Estimated viable resurrection targets exceed 3,000. Current command capacity remains 31 standard units. Resurrection speed remains 100 times faster than normal. Soul growth becomes possible through repeated successful bindings. Every completed resurrection strengthens the necromancer's command core by a minor amount. There it is, the real mechanism. Speed is not merely a combat advantage, it changes the entire growth cycle. A normal necromancer spends hours completing a handful of safe rituals. Tavian can perform hundreds in the same period. Even when he immediately releases weak undead, every successful binding still leaves a tiny imprint on his command core. One ritual barely matters. 1,000 rituals absolutely do. Our guy kneels beside the first corpse. One breath. The skeleton rises. Tavian releases it. Another corpse follows. One breath. Rise. Release. Again. 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 The chamber fills with snapping bones. His soul burns. Blood runs from both nostrils. Mira hovers beside him and marks the safest sequence of targets. She filters out damaged souls. She identifies bodies with compatible memories. She reduces wasted effort. After 100 successful bindings, Tavian's command capacity increases by 1. After 300, it increases again. After 500, the system grants him a new passive skill. Accelerated familiarity has been achieved. Repeated rituals now consume slightly less mana when performed on previously studied corpse types. The reduction is tiny. Tavian keeps going. He resurrects miners, scouts, shield bearers, tower beasts, dead thieves, broken mercenaries. Each one rises in a single breath. Each one leaves behind a fragment of mastery. By the time the chamber's dead lanterns flicker awake, our necromancer has completed 947 resurrection rituals. His command capacity rises from 31 units to 43. His mana pool is completely empty. His hands shake. He cannot stand. Still, 43 undead kneel around him in perfect silence. 30 are standard skeleton soldiers. 8 are armored corpse guards. 4 are crawling tower hounds. The final unit stands beside Mira. It is a headless scout wrapped in black climbing rope. Unlike the others, it carries a copper compass embedded inside its chest. Mira places one spectral hand against the compass. The needle begins spinning. A hidden path appears across the far wall. Her new skill interacts with the scout's retained navigation instinct. The system registers the combination. The tactical ghost has gained an auxiliary anchor. Route sight may now extend through the headless scout. Mira can calculate paths beyond the necromancer's direct vision. Our hero finally sits against a pile of bones. The headless scout walks into the hidden passage. Through Mira, Tavian sees what it sees. Far above, Dorian's recovery team is already descending toward the broken bridge. Vasca's soldiers follow. Sarah's marshals surround them. Orson has brought legal clerks to certify ownership. Every faction is investing men, money, and authority into retrieving the false corpse vault. None of them plans to share. Tavian watches through the scout's distant vision. A cold smile barely touches his face. Then he gives the 43 undead their first real command. They begin digging deeper beneath the tower. 17 hours after Tavian vanishes into the shaft, the first recovery squad finds his bait. The black bone strip remains wedged beneath the shattered bridge exactly where he leaves it. Silver route symbols pulse across its surface. A faint heartbeat echoes from inside. And every greedy fool standing around it believes they have discovered a treasure beyond price. Dorian Kest arrives first. The chairman wears a white resurrection coat over ceremonial armor, surrounded by 12 licensed necromancers and twice as many corpse guards. Vasca Rel follows with the elite vanguard of Crown Descent. Sarah Voss brings tower marshals. Orson Pell drags an entire legal tribunal behind him. Nobody comes to rescue Tavian. They come to divide what they think he created. Far beneath them, our necromancer watches through the headless scout's copper compass. Mira projects the scene directly into his mind. 4 factions, 87 armed climbers, 3 portable barriers, 1 soul extraction engine, a completely ridiculous amount of force for stealing from a supposedly dead porter. Tavian keeps digging. His 43 undead carve through layers of black stone beneath the hidden corpse chamber. Skeletons strike the walls with rusted mining tools. The armored guards haul rubble. Tower hounds squeeze through cracks and map the tunnels ahead. Every movement is silent. Every command travels through the soul link. The newly awakened necromancer has spent the entire night repeating resurrection cycles. Raise, release, absorb the imprint, recover mana, repeat. His command capacity now reaches 51 standard units. That number still looks pitiful compared to the thousands of corpses surrounding him. But Tavian does not need thousands yet. He needs the correct 51. Mira floats beside an ancient skeleton trapped beneath the central corpse pile. Its bones are dark silver. Broken rings circle both wrists. A massive iron nail passes through its spine and anchors it to the floor. The corpse gives off no soul mark, no countdown, no tower registration. It is so old that the system does not recognize when it died. Tavian kneels beside it. A notification flashes across his vision. Unknown remains detected. Resurrection requirements cannot be calculated. Command burden may exceed current capacity. Identity contamination is possible. Our guy removes his hand. Not yet. Whatever lies inside those bones is powerful enough to make even a god-level system uncertain. He covers the skeleton again. Chekhov would be absolutely furious about that thing sitting there unused. Still, Tavian prefers surviving long enough to understand it. The headless scout suddenly stops. Through Mira's root site, a new passage appears beyond the digging site. The tunnel rises toward a sealed maintenance district under floor 32. No living root should connect to it. Yet fresh footprints stain the dust. Large footprints, clawed. Dozens of them. Mira raises one silver hand. The tactical projection expands. Something moves beyond the wall. Then another shape follows. Then 20 more. Tavian closes his fist. Every undead stops digging. Silence returns. A scratching sound crawls through the stone. One of the tower hounds growls without lungs. The wall explodes inward. A massive gray creature bursts through the breach. It has the body of an ape, the skull of a ram, and 6 human arms stitched along its spine. A chain covered in guild tags hangs from its throat. 3 smaller beasts leap behind it. Then 8. Then an entire pack. The system identifies them immediately. Corpse gorgers. Scavenger beasts bred to consume unregistered bodies and destroy illegal resurrection sites. Someone releases them into the maintenance district. Someone expects them to find Tavian. Our hero glances through the headless scout's distant vision. Dorian stands beside the black bone bait. One hand rests on a control ring carrying the same seal as the grave maw. There is the answer. The chairman is not merely trying to steal the fake corpse vault. He is cleaning up the witness who supposedly created it. The largest gorger sniffs the air. Its 6 human arms spread apart. Hundreds of tiny mouths open across its chest. The beast roars. Every corpse inside the chamber begins sliding toward it. Stage 1 starts brutally. The gorgers attack before Tavian completes his formation. 3 skeleton miners disappear into the alpha's chest mouths. Their command seals break instantly. 2 tower hounds leap at a smaller beast. It tears both apart. The armored corpse guards raise their shields. A wave of gray bodies crashes through them. Bones scatter. Rusting armor folds, the undead line collapses in seconds. Vasca's climbers would panic here. Tavian only counts. The Alpha consumes 7 units. The pack destroys 11 more. 18 command slots suddenly become available. Pain tears through our necromancer's skull as severed seals recoil into his soul. One gorger reaches him. Its claws carve through his coat and open 3 lines across his chest. Tavian steps backward. Another beast bites into his forearm. The boy drives his thumb into its eye. Black blood sprays across his face. The gorger shakes him violently. Mira marks a falling support hook above them. Tavian twists. The hook slams into the monster's spine. Its jaws release. Our guy hits the floor. The Alpha charges. 4 remaining shield corpses intercept it. The beast does not slow down. It crushes all 4 beneath its shoulders and rams Tavian through a mound of bones. The impact empties his lungs. A broken rib digs into his side. For the first time since awakening, our necromancer cannot immediately stand. The Alpha Gorger towers over him. Human hands crawl across its spine. One of them still wears a crown descent ring. Another carries a martial tattoo. This creature has eaten climbers from multiple factions. Dorian has been feeding political problems to his pets for years. The beast lowers its skull. Its chest mouths open. Tavian's body begins sliding forward. The remaining undead attack from behind. The Alpha whips its chain around. 8 skeletons shatter in a single sweep. The monster roars in triumph. Stage 1 is complete. Our hero takes the hit. Now he starts reading. Tavian grips a bone fragment and drives it into the floor. He stops himself 3 feet from the beast's mouth. Mira floods the soul link with movement paths. The Alpha's left legs land heavier than the right. Its central mouths open before the outer mouths. The chain rotates every 4 breaths. Each time it consumes an undead, gray light travels from its stomach into the guild tags around its throat. Those tags are not decoration. They distribute stolen soul energy through the body. The smaller gorgers share the same network. 1 Alpha, 23 feeders, a single soul circulation. Interesting. Tavian stops ordering direct attacks. Instead, he sends 2 skeletons toward opposite walls. The pack divides. He sends a corpse guard down the center. The Alpha consumes it. Gray light flashes across every beast. Mira marks the delay. Half a second. Our necromancer tests again. A tower hound leaps onto a feeder's back. The feeder kills it. The Alpha receives the energy half a second later. The network works both ways. Damage does not transfer. Soul intake does. Tavian's expression remains completely cold. He has found the weakness. Now comes stage 3. Our guy places 1 bloody palm against a shattered skeleton. He takes a single breath. The dead unit rises again. The nearest gorger devours it instantly. A second skeleton follows. Then a third. The beasts swarm the easy prey. Dorian breeds them to erase corpses. Their hunger is trained, predictable, and painfully exploitable. Tavian resurrects every destroyed minion the moment its body becomes usable. 1 breath per ritual. 100 times faster than any licensed necromancer. The pack kills them. The necromancer raises them. The beasts consume them. Then he raises what remains again. The cycle accelerates. A skeleton loses both legs. It crawls forward anyway. A gorger swallows it. Tavian resurrects the severed torso inside the monster's stomach. The command seal ignites beneath gray flesh. The gorger jerks violently. Another corpse rises inside a second beast. Then 5. Then 12. Dorian's pets have been trained to eat dead bodies. Nobody trains them for bodies that refuse to remain dead. A new skill takes shape inside Tavian's soul. Repeated resurrection inside hostile flesh has created a compatible technique. Graveclock relay has been acquired. A destroyed undead may be resurrected through another active command seal within range. Each relay multiplies soul strain. Current safe chain length is 3. Our necromancer memorizes every detail. This is not a finishing move yet. It is the foundation of one. Tavian points at the Alpha. A skeleton rises inside a feeder. Its command seal flashes. A second corpse resurrects inside the next beast. The relay jumps. Then the third seal ignites inside the Alpha's stomach. 3 undead awaken in one linked sequence. The Alpha convulses. Its chest mouth snaps shut. The soul network stutters. Every feeder freezes for half a second. Mira moves. The silent ghost shoots through the pack like blue lightning. Her silver wrist symbols expand into a massive route diagram above the chamber. Every beast becomes a numbered point. Every path converges on the Alpha. For the first time, Root Sight does more than guide movement. It predicts the circulation of stolen souls. Mira sends the pattern into Tavian's mind. 1 opening. 2 seconds. No second chance. Our necromancer slams both hands against the floor. A bone aura erupts from his body. The air turns freezing cold. Gray frost crawls across every living creature in the chamber. The gorger's movements slow. Their muscles weaken. Their soul resistance drops. This is the first time Tavian activates the aura. It does not appear from nowhere. For hours, every released resurrection leaves fragments of death energy inside his command core. Now he forces all of that residue outward. The effect is savage. The pack's speed collapses. Their claws scrape uselessly against the stone. Tavian raises 20 destroyed skeletons at once. They do not attack. They grab. Bone hands lock around legs, jaws, chains, and throats. The feeders struggle. The Alpha pulls against the entire formation. Its chain begins rotating. One breath. Mira points. The headless scout launches itself from the tunnel entrance. Its copper compass glows inside its chest. The scout runs along the exact path the chain cannot reach. Left wall, broken pillar. Alpha's shoulder. The beast snaps at it. The scout ducks. Mira's ghost enters the corpse through the compass. Blue light explodes from its joints. For 3 seconds, the silent tactical ghost gains a physical anchor. The headless scout moves with Mira's complete route calculation. It becomes impossibly precise. One step avoids the first claw. A backward lean clears the second. The corpse leaps between the 6 human arms. Then it rips the chain of guild tags from the Alpha's throat. The soul network breaks. Every feeder screams. Mira twists the chain around the creature's horns. The headless scout plants both feet against its skull. Then the ghost pulls. The Alpha's neck bends backward. Tavian completes the attack. He resurrects every corpse trapped inside the beast at once. 19 command seals ignite beneath its skin. The Alpha swells. Its gray flesh splits open. Skeleton arms punch through its chest. A corpse guard tears free from its stomach. 3 tower hounds burst through its spine. The giant gorger explodes from the inside. Black blood floods the chamber. Mira lands on the broken skull. Her temporary physical anchor drives the stolen guild chain through the creature's exposed soul core. The Alpha stops moving. Companion execution confirmed. The remaining gorgers collapse as the shared network dies. Stage 4 begins immediately. Tavian does not let a single soul escape. Black smoke rises from 24 bodies. Our necromancer stretches one hand toward the ceiling. Every soul fragment spirals into his command core. The Alpha gives him the most. Years of consumed climbers, stolen skills, guild marks, fragments of terrified memory. Tavian filters everything through Mira. She separates useful information from dying screams. The system tallies the harvest. 23 standard beast souls absorbed, 1 elite Alpha soul absorbed. Command capacity increases from 51 units to 68. Bone aura advances to its first stable tier. Graveclock relay remains limited to 3 linked seals. 24 gorger corpses become eligible for resurrection. Tavian raises every one of them in a single breath. The beasts stand. Their gray eyes turn black. Broken guild tags hang from their necks. The Alpha rises last. Its ruined chest closes around a ribcage made from 19 fused skeletons. The stolen chain remains driven through its soul core. Mira's headless scout stands on its shoulder. Our necromancer studies his new army, 40 surviving humanoid undead, 23 standard corpse gorgers, 1 elite Alpha, 64 active units. 4 command slots remain open. More importantly, the dead Alpha carries Dorian's control seal. Tavian presses 2 fingers against it. A trail of commands floods into Mira's root site. Release tunnel, target location, return path, scheduled feeding zones, and a direct link to the chairman's private corpse refinery beneath floor 36. Dorian has just sent an assassin. Instead, he delivers Tavian a map. Honestly, that is embarrassingly generous. Above them, the recovery factions finally retrieve the black bone strip. Vasca claims the outer shell. Orson certifies the corpse value. Sarah secures the root. Dorian secretly activates the object. The fake vault opens. A pulse of stolen Gravemaw energy erupts across the bridge. Every official witnesses it. Every sensor records it. Inside the shell, they find a single encoded resurrection formula. It appears incomplete, crude, potentially priceless, exactly as Tavian intends. Dorian hides his excitement. Vasca pretends not to notice. Orson calculates licensing fees. Sarah orders the entire district sealed. The rumor spreads before the hour ends. A dead porter creates a method capable of preserving elite corpses inside portable bone vaults. Crown Descent possesses the key. The Last Right Commission possesses the beast. The Marshals possess the recovery zone. And somewhere inside the tower, rival guilds begin preparing to steal all 3. Far below, Tavian feels the machinery start turning. He does not celebrate. He looks toward the tunnel leading to Dorian's private refinery. Mira raises one glowing hand. The elite Alpha lowers its skull. Our necromancer climbs onto its back. Then 63 undead follow him into the dark. Dorian Kest's private corpse refinery processes more than 600 bodies every week. Officially, the facility does not exist. Unofficially, it is the reason the Last Right Commission controls half the resurrection market beneath Floor 50. Bodies arrive through sealed freight lifts. Useful organs are removed. Rare bones are cataloged. Soul residue is harvested. Anything valuable disappears into private storage. Anything inconvenient gets fed to corpse gorgers. Tavian enters through the feeding tunnel, riding the very beast meant to erase him. Talk about returning a delivery. The elite alpha crawls along the ceiling, its claws digging silently into black stone. 63 undead follow through the passage below. Mira floats at the front. Her blue cloak no longer flickers. The absorbed gorger soul has stabilized her outline, while silver route symbols now circle both wrists. She still has no face. She still says nothing, yet every movement carries completely ruthless precision. Root sight spreads through the refinery. 7 processing chambers, 4 storage vaults, 219 living workers, 36 guards, 9 licensed necromancers, 1 hidden elevator leading directly to Dorian's residence. Tavian studies the projection without slowing down. A frontal assault would expose him. A massacre would alert the tower. Taking the refinery quietly requires something more useful than raw strength. It requires ownership. The Alpha stops above a maintenance hatch. Below it, 3 workers push corpse carts through a narrow corridor. Their gray uniforms carry no guild crest. The Commission removes names from refinery employees. Nameless workers are easier to replace. One man limps behind the others. A black control collar wraps around his throat. Every worker wears one. Dorian does not pay them. He binds their debt to their souls and forces them to process the debt until the contract is satisfied. Of course, the interest grows faster than the debt. Nobody leaves. Mira marks the control lines running through the walls. Every collar connects to a central command engine in the lowest chamber. Tavian changes the plan. Killing the guards is easy. Seizing the contracts is better. Our necromancer presses one hand against the elite alpha's stolen control seal. The mark opens the maintenance hatch. Dorian's system welcomes its own monster home. The undead army enters without triggering a single alarm. 30 skeleton soldiers split into groups of 5. 8 armored corpse guards move toward the exits. The tower hounds crawl into the ventilation ducts. 23 dead gorgers disappear beneath the processing floors. Not one unit moves without purpose. Tavian remains in the tunnel. Mira directs the entire formation through the soul link. Her headless scout reaches the first junction. The copper compass inside its chest spins once. 3 roots appear. The ghost points toward the center. A commissioned necromancer walks around the corner. He sees the scout. His mouth opens. The corpse moves first. It drives one hand into the man's throat and catches him before he falls. No scream. No alarm. The scout lowers the body gently. Tavian completes a resurrection from 3 corridors away. 1 breath. The commissioned necromancer opens his eyes again. His soul remains mostly intact. Confusion passes through his face. Then the command seal tightens. Mira enters his memory. Security phrases, shift rotations, vault codes, control room access. Everything useful pours into the soul link. Everything else becomes background noise. Our hero releases the man's consciousness but keeps the body moving. The resurrected necromancer straightens his coat and continues down the corridor. 2 guards greet him. He gives the correct hand signal. They let him pass. A completely dead employee walks directly into the command center. Nobody notices. Tavian almost respects the irony. The corpse reaches a rune console and places its palm against the glass. Access accepted. Mira takes control of the refinery map. Every sealed door becomes hers. Every alarm route appears. Every collar contract reveals its owner. Dorian Kest. Dorian Kest. Dorian Kest. 219 times. The chairman does not merely control the resurrection market, he owns the people who maintain it. Our necromancer looks toward the lowest chamber. The command engine pulses beneath the floor. That becomes the first target. The assault begins without a sound. Tower hounds sever alarm cables. Skeletons enter guard rooms through corpse disposal vents. Armored undead block stairwells. The dead gorgers crawl beneath processing tables and wait. Mira marks every patrol route. One by one, the guards disappear. A man steps into a storage room. A bone hand pulls him inside. Another checks a ventilation grate. Black jaws close around his head. 2 commissioned necromancers notice an empty post. They send a corpse servant to investigate. Tavian hijacks the servant's command seal before it returns. The dead attendant walks back carrying false information. Everything is secure. No movement detected. No breach found. Yeah, the building is absolutely doomed. Within 11 minutes, Tavian controls the outer refinery. Not a single worker realizes it. The processing lines continue moving. Bodies roll beneath saws. Soul extractors keep humming. Clerks keep recording illegal profits. Our guy reaches the command engine chamber. A circular door blocks the entrance. 9 layers of resurrection law cover the metal. Each layer requires a different license. Dorian designs the lock so no single employee can open it. Tavian places the stolen hands of 9 dead necromancers against the door. Every seal recognizes its assigned operator. The layers unlock simultaneously. Speed is not always about casting. Sometimes it is about arranging the correct corpses. The door opens. The command engine hangs above a pit of blue fire. Thousands of black threads extend from its core and vanish into the walls. Each thread connects to a worker's collar. A woman kneels beneath the machine. She wears the white robes of a senior commission priest. Unlike the guards, she is still alive. Her arms are chained to the floor. A silver mask covers her mouth. Mira's route symbols flare. The ghost recognizes her. Tavian sees the memory through the soul link. Dr. Alara Wren, former chief engineer of the Last Right Commission. She designs the first legal soul preservation chambers. Then she discovers Dorian is using them to strip memories from debt workers. He imprisons her beneath her own machine. That happened 4 years ago. Alara looks at Tavian. Then she looks at the undead army behind him. No fear appears in her eyes, only calculation. Our necromancer removes the mask. She takes one painful breath. The collars cannot be broken from here. Tavian studies the engine. Alara continues. If the core stops, every contract activates at once. 219 workers would die. Naturally, Dorian installs a dead man switch. The chairman loves irony almost as much as control. Tavian walks around the pit. Mira follows. The tactical ghost maps the threads. Every contract runs through the same blue flame. The engine does not merely hold the workers. It uses their accumulated soul pressure to power the refinery. Breaking the machine kills them. Rewriting the owner saves them. Alara watches his eyes move. You understand it. Our guy does not answer. He places his palm against the engine. A system message appears. Mass soul contract network detected. Current necromancer authority is insufficient for direct overwrite. Individual command seals may be replaced after death. Living contracts remain protected. That limitation is absolute. At least it appears absolute. Tavian looks toward the processing floor. The workers are alive. Their contracts are attached to their souls. Resurrection cannot overwrite a living target. So, our necromancer chooses the most brutally efficient solution available. He looks at Alara. Can the engine stop their hearts without damaging their souls? The engineer goes still. Then she understands. Her expression becomes deeply unsettled. Yes. How long? 4 seconds. That is enough. A normal resurrection priest would need more than a minute. Tavian needs 1 breath. Alara stares at him. If even one ritual fails, it will not. No pride, no reassurance, just a statement. Mira moves toward the engine. Her silver symbols spread across the pit. Route site transforms. Instead of mapping corridors, it maps soul threads. 219 lives appear inside Tavian's mind. Different ages, different strengths, different levels of damage. One network. One moment. Our necromancer orders every undead into position. Skeletons stand beside workers. Armored guards block exits. The gorgers hide beneath the floor. The resurrected commission necromancers take control of emergency equipment. Nobody attacks. Nobody speaks. Alara places both hands against the engine. Blue fire rises. Every worker's collar flashes. 219 bodies collapse at once. Hearts stop. Breath ends. The refinery falls silent. 4 seconds begin. Tavian activates Graveclock authority. 219 soul catches lock. Pain explodes through his skull. His vision turns red. The command burden tries to crush him instantly. These are not temporary soldiers. They are living people caught between death and return. He does not need to command them. He only needs to resurrect them without Dorian's contracts. Mira stabilizes the network. Silver roots connect every soul to its body. 1 second passes. The bone claims settle. Tavian's knees hit the floor. Blood pours from his mouth. 2 seconds. The old contracts ignite. Black threads reach for the dead workers. The elite alpha slams its claws into the engine. Its stolen control seal disrupts Dorian's ownership signature. 3 seconds. The contracts begin returning. Our necromancer completes the command seals. Then he releases every one of them immediately. 219 workers inhale at once. The collars crack. Black threads snap across the refinery. The engine screams. Dorian's ownership disappears. Every resurrected worker remains alive. None carries a command seal. Tavian releases the final thread. The chamber erupts in blue light. Alara shields her face. Mira hovers above the pit. Her cloak spreads behind her like enormous spectral wings. The mass resurrection tears open something inside the tactical ghost. Thousands of routes appear around her. Not physical routes. Command routes, soul routes, authority routes. She sees how power moves through organizations, contracts, and controlled systems. A new notification confirms the evolution. The silent tactical ghost advances to elite rank. Root sight evolves into Dominion cartography. Mira can now map active chains of command within a limited territory. She may identify controllers, relays, dependent units, and authority weaknesses. Her silver wrist symbols climb both arms. A narrow crown of blue lines forms above her faceless head. She does not celebrate. Instead, the newly evolved ghost points upward. Dorian's private elevator glows inside the map. The chairman is not present, but every command he sends into the refinery must pass through that shaft. Tavian places one hand against the engine. Mira redirects the broken contract network. From this moment forward, the refinery still reports to Dorian. Every machine remains active. Every profit ledger keeps updating. Every corpse shipment appears normal. The chairman sees no rebellion. He sees increased productivity. That is the truly savage part. Alara rises slowly. What are you going to do with this place? Our necromancer looks through the glass wall. Workers wake across the processing floor. Some touch their broken collars. Others stare at the undead standing beside them. Nobody screams. They have spent years surrounded by corpses. They know the difference between a monster and a tool. Tavian turns toward Alara. Keep it running. The engineer studies him. For Dorian? For me. No grand announcement. No heroic liberation speech. Just a transfer of ownership. Alara looks at the broken engine. Then at the workers Dorian enslaves. A hard smile appears beneath the scars around her mouth. She bows once. The hidden empire begins there. Over the next 12 days, the refinery changes completely without altering its official numbers. Illegal corpse shipments arrive. Tavian claims the useful bodies. The records say they are destroyed. Soul crystals enter Dorian's vault. Alara replaces them with convincing replicas. The real crystals feed Tavian's command core. Commission guards rotate into the building. Dead copies leave in their uniforms. Living guards wake without memories in sealed storage beneath the corpse chamber. Our hero avoids unnecessary killing. Not because he values mercy. Dead infiltrators are simply easier to detect when their families ask questions. The underground network expands. Maintenance tunnels become supply lines. Abandoned corpse pits become training grounds. Hidden freight lifts become troop routes. Mira maps every chain of authority touching the refinery. Bribed clerks, purchased marshals, guild captains, soul brokers, floor inspectors. Dorian's influence spreads across the tower like a disease. Tavian begins cutting it apart one invisible thread at a time. His undead army grows from 64 active units to 312. Most remain stored inside compressed bone seals. 140 are standard skeleton soldiers. 72 are armored corpse guards. 36 are dead tower beasts. 23 are corpse gorgers. 20 are resurrected specialists with retained craft memory. The elite alpha becomes the guardian of the lower tunnel network. The headless scout remains Mira's physical anchor. Its black climbing ropes turn silver after repeated exposure to her soul. The copper compass now projects temporary route marks for nearby undead. That small upgrade changes everything. Units no longer require Tavian's direct attention for simple maneuvers. Mira directs squads through the scout. The scout directs captains. Captains direct standard undead. The command burden spreads through a hierarchy. His 68-unit limit does not disappear. It becomes efficient. One elite command now controls several linked subordinates. By the end of the 12th day, our necromancer can deploy more than 300 undead, while personally maintaining fewer than 70 primary seals. An army built like a machine, exactly his style. Above them, the false corpse vault becomes the most valuable object beneath floor 50. Vasca pours Crown Descent's reserves into decoding it. She sells 2 training halls. She recalls her upper floor teams. She bribes 3 archive priests. Orson drafts new laws declaring all portable corpse technology commission property. Sarah seals floor 31 and charges guilds for investigative access. Dorian funds every faction in secret. Each one believes they are using the others. Each one is actually feeding Tavian's trap. Still, doubt finally appears. A senior Crown Descent examiner studies the bone strip. The internal space is too shallow. Vasca's smile tightens. The examiner continues. The root symbols repeat. Some may be decorative. For one dangerous second, greed loses its grip. Then the fake formula inside the vault produces another pulse. A preserved grave maw scale appears. Real. Powerful. Completely authentic. Tavian places it there through the hidden control mark hours earlier. Vasca sees the scale. Her doubt dies instantly. Double the research budget. Dorian receives the same report. He notices that no one has found Tavian's corpse. That bothers him. Then the refinery sends record profits. His missing gorgers are listed as successfully disposed. His private corpse shipments continue without interruption. Everything looks perfect. The chairman looks at the false vault and smiles. Greed wins again. Deep beneath the tower, Mira projects 4 glowing authority chains before Tavian. Vasca, Orson, Sarah, Dorian. Every chain now runs through the same bone strip. Our necromancer sits at the center of the hidden refinery, while hundreds of undead kneel beyond the glass. No throne, no ceremony. Only machinery, maps, and corpses moving exactly where he intends. Mira raises one hand. A tiny fracture appears inside Dorian's authority chain. The chairman has just transferred control of his private resurrection reserve into the investigation. Tavian watches the fracture spread. The bait is no longer taking their money. It is taking their power. 3 weeks after Tavian disappears, the 4 most powerful officials beneath Floor 50 hold a victory banquet over his grave. There is no grave, of course. That minor detail does not stop them. The banquet takes place inside Crown Descent's Central Guild Hall, a ridiculous glass fortress suspended above Floor 28. Vascarel stands beneath a chandelier made from crystallized wyvern hearts. Hundreds of guild members fill the hall, floor captains, investors, resurrection brokers, tower nobles who have never carried their own weapons. And at the center of the celebration, the black bone strip rests inside a golden containment case. The fake corpse vault pulses once. Every guest goes silent. Vasca smiles. This is the future of the tower. Her voice carries across the entire hall. With this technology, no elite corpse will ever be lost again. Applause explodes. The guildmaster raises one hand. The crowd quiets immediately. A useless porter created the shell by accident. Vasca looks toward Tavian's old corpse rack, which hangs on the wall as a trophy. But power does not belong to the hand that touches it first. Her smile turns completely savage. It belongs to the one strong enough to take it. More applause, much louder this time. Deep beneath the tower, Tavian watches through a dead servant carrying wine between the banquet tables. Mira projects every face into his mind. Vasca's investors, Dorian's agents, Orson's legal clerks, Sarah's hidden marshals. 4 factions occupy the same room while pretending to celebrate the same victory. Every one of them plans to betray the others before sunrise. Our necromancer sits inside the refinery command chamber with one hand resting against the blue engine. Alara Wren stands beside him. Hundreds of authority routes move across the glass walls. Gold for Crown Descent, white for the Last Right Commission, red for the Marshal's office, black for Dorian's private network. Mira floats at the center. Her spectral crown has grown wider. The thin blue lines now resemble the frame of an unfinished helmet. Sometimes, the symbols above her head lock into place for half a second. Then they break apart again. The system has already noticed. Elite companion evolution conditions are accumulating. Required elements remain incomplete. Territorial command experience detected. Distributed soul network synchronization detected. A sovereign-grade authority core is still missing. Tavian reads the message once. Then he closes it. Mira does the same thing in her own way. She raises one hand and crushes the floating notification into blue sparks. Apparently, even silent ghosts can be impatient. Our guy returns his attention to the banquet. Vasca lifts a silver cup. Tonight, Crown Descent becomes the first guild to control portable resurrection. She turns toward the 4 upper-floor captains seated beside her. Tomorrow, every guild that mocked us pays for access. Captain Brenvart grins. This broad man commands the guild's assault division and personally abandons 37 climbers on the Black Iron Bridge. Tavian remembers his exact words before the retreat. Porters exist to die after the useful people leave. Bren raises his cup. To useful people, the captains laugh. Our necromancer marks him on the authority map. 1 chain, 1 crime, 1 future judgment. Across the hall, Orson Pell steps onto the stage carrying a tower decree wrapped in red silk. He does not bother asking permission. Naturally, the corpse auditor loves legal ownership almost as much as hearing himself speak. By emergency authority granted to the Last Right Commission, all portable corpse storage methods are now classified as restricted resurrection assets. The crowd murmurs. Vasca's smile freezes. Orson continues. Possession without a commission license carries permanent soul seizure. Several investors lower their cups. The guildmaster walks toward him. You announced this inside my hall? Orson smiles. You invited me to witness your property. He taps the golden case. The law witnessed commission property instead. Vasca's captains reach for their weapons. Dorian Kest begins clapping. Slowly, calmly, every head turns. The chairman sits at the highest table wearing white ceremonial robes. He looks like a holy man blessing a wedding. In reality, he has financed both sides of the argument. Excellent. Dorian rises. Conflict proves value. He gestures toward the bone strip. The porter's crude work has already forced the tower to evolve. Tavian watches the old man through 3 separate dead servants. Dorian's authority chain is enormous. Resurrection licenses, debt contracts, corpse transport, soul taxes, preservation temples, refinery routes. Every thread moves through dozens of intermediaries before reaching him. A man like that survives by ensuring nobody can prove where his orders begin. Mira's Dominion cartography keeps finding the answer anyway. The ghost traces Dorian's network across the command chamber. One route leads to Vaska's research division, another leads to Orson's tribunal, a third reaches Sarah's emergency control office. Turns out, the chairman does not merely influence the factions, he has already embedded control seals inside all 3. Vaska believes she owns the vault, Orson believes the law owns it, Sarah believes the tower owns it. Dorian plans to own whoever wins. The old man raises his cup. Let the strongest institution complete the formula. He glances at the trophy corpse rack. As for its creator, history will remember him correctly. Dorian smiles. A porter who carried one useful thing before dying. The room laughs. Tavian's expression does not change. Mira's does. Her faceless head turns toward Dorian's projection. The blue crown above her flickers violently. For 1 second, a sharp visor forms across the empty space where her eyes should be. Then it disappears. A pulse of cold pressure travels through the soul link. Not anger exactly, something more focused. Recognition. Mira served Crown Descent for 7 years. She designs the routes that make Vaska powerful. Dorian arranges the Grave Maw attack. Vaska abandons her. Orson values her corpse. Sarah locks the barrier. All 4 people standing in that banquet hall participate in her death. The ghost does not need words to remember. Tavian places 2 fingers against the silver thread connecting them. The pressure stabilizes. He does not comfort her. She does not need comfort. She needs a target. Back in the guild hall, Sarah Voss finally enters. The floor marshal wears black tower armor and carries the emergency seal of floor 31. Behind her, 6 marshals drag in a chained man. The prisoner is a thin researcher wearing Crown Descent colors. Vaska recognizes him. So does Tavian. This is the examiner who questions the bone strip's internal space. Sarah throws him onto the stage. He attempted to sell false information about a restricted investigation. The examiner looks at Vaska. I only reported what I found. Sarah kicks him in the ribs. You reported doubt. She turns toward the crowd. Doubt causes panic. Panic disrupts tower order. The marshal draws a glowing chain from her wrist. The examiner's soul mark ignites. Vaska watches without intervening. The man finally understands. His guild will not protect him. Orson will not record a fair hearing. Dorian will not acknowledge him. Sarah tightens the chain. His body collapses. His soul remains suspended above it. The marshal addresses the hall. Emergency authority is not permission. She looks toward Tavian's old corpse rack. It is the right to decide who counts as a person. Her own words from the bridge return almost perfectly. The tower does not count your kind as climbers. Tavian stores the line. Mira marks Sarah's chain. Second crime. Second judgment. Vaska steps over the examiner's body. Remove the trash. A dead servant carries the corpse away. The servant belongs to Tavian. Before anyone notices, our necromancer completes a resurrection through the hidden seal. 1 breath. The examiner's soul returns. His eyes remain closed. The body continues looking dead. Mira enters the man's fading memory and extracts everything he discovers about the bait. Repeated symbols. Shallow internal space. Hidden remote access pulses. He nearly identifies the external control route. Nearly. That matters. Tavian does not dismiss the risk. He recalibrates. The fake corpse vault cannot survive much longer under expert inspection. Good, it does not need to. The trap is already entering its final stage. Our guy releases the examiner from command but preserves his life inside a storage seal. A useful witness for later. Above, Orson begins reading the new licensing structure. Portable resurrection will require 4 approvals. 1 from Crown Descent for the route formula, 1 from the Commission for Corpse Authority, 1 from the Marshals for floor security, 1 from Dorian's private counsel for ethical compliance. Yeah, even the corruption has paperwork. Every corpse transported beneath floor 50 will now pay an additional preservation levy. Every necromancer will purchase a new license. Every guild will surrender access to its dead. The 4 villains have built an empire around a device that does not work. Worse, they are forcing the entire tower to connect its corpse routes to the same central system, Tavian's system. Hidden beneath the refinery, Alara smiles at the incoming contracts. Another 43 guilds accepted the new protocol. Mira expands Dominion cartography. New authority lines flood the chamber. Transport depots, preservation rooms, corpse elevators. Battlefield recovery teams. Every organization adopting the portable vault standard installs one of Dorian's relay seals. Those relays are based on the false formula Tavian leaves inside the bone strip, and every false formula contains a microscopic Graveclock mark. The guilds think they are connecting to Dorian's network. They are connecting to Tavian. Our necromancer now has dormant access to more than 8,000 registered corpses across 21 floors. He cannot resurrect them all, not yet. His command capacity reaches 94 primary units. His stored army reaches 786. Mira's hierarchy allows him to deploy nearly 600 at once. That is still nowhere near 8,000. But control is not the first purpose. Access is. When the trap closes, every preservation seal will stop answering the villains. Every corpse vault will become an open door. Every soul tax reserve will become fuel. Every legal resurrection route will become Tavian's battlefield. The four factions proudly build the machine that will destroy them. Honestly, they deserve some credit for efficiency. The banquet continues. Vasca announces an auction for future resurrection rights. Orson sells licenses before the technology exists. Sarah declares 3 lower floors emergency corpse zones. Dorian signs private agreements with rival guilds to seize Crown Descent after the launch. Their arrogance reaches absolute levels. Then Captain Bren Vark drags another prisoner onto the stage. This one wears a porter's gray coat. Tavian recognizes him as Jory Fenn, an old worker from the corpse docks. Jory once shares food with Tavian during a winter shift. That does not make him a friend. It makes him a witness. Bren holds up a blood-stained brass tag. The same kind Tavian used on the grave maw. We found this rat asking questions about Rook. Jory spits blood onto the floor. I asked where his body went. Bren laughs. Why? Because you left him. The hall becomes quiet. Vasca looks annoyed. Dorian looks bored. Orson begins checking whether Jory's corpse carries debt. Sarah watches the exits. Bren grabs the porter by the hair. Porters exist to die after the useful people leave. He repeats the sentence with deliberate cruelty. Then he looks at the trophy rack. Your friend finally learned his job. Tavian watches from beneath the stage through a dead serving crawler. Mira turns toward him. The ghost does not offer a route. She waits for a command. Our necromancer could kill Bren now. A corpse servant stands within striking distance. 3 tower hounds hide inside the ventilation shaft. The chandelier's support chain carries an undead beetle packed with bone dust. One signal would turn the celebration into a massacre. Tavian gives no signal. Bren is one officer. The hall contains hundreds of links. Moving now would save one porter and expose the entire network. Our hero does not confuse impulse with strategy. Still, he adjusts the board. The dead servant carrying Jory's chains brushes the prisoner's wrist. A resurrection seal transfers into his skin, dormant, invisible. Ready. Bren raises his sword. Vasca stops him. Not here. For 1 second, Jory looks relieved. Then Vasca points toward the tower windows. Throw him from the guild hall. The crowd laughs. 2 guards drag the porter toward the glass balcony. Tavian closes his fist. The dormant seal activates the moment Jory crosses the railing. Bren kicks him into open air. The porter falls. Wind tears the scream from his throat. The hall watches him disappear. 7 floors below, a stored corpse gorger crawls beneath a maintenance bridge. Mira calculates the route. The beast leaps. Its dead body catches Jory before he hits the lower platform. The impact stops his heart. For less than 1 second, Tavian resurrects him immediately. 1 breath. Jory wakes inside the creature's ribcage. The gorger carries him into a hidden tunnel. Above, everyone believes the porter dies. Vasca returns to her cup. Bren returns to laughing. The banquet moves on. No rebellion. No warning, no visible consequence. That illusion becomes the villain's final comfort. Back beneath the tower, Mira's spectral crown begins changing again. The rescue forces her to coordinate 3 remote anchors across 7 floors. The headless scout guides the gorger. The gorger catches Jory. The dormant resurrection seal activates through Tavian. Dominion cartography holds the entire sequence together. Blue symbols spread from Mira's arms across her chest. The unfinished visor returns. This time, it remains. A narrow line of silver light forms where her eyes should be. The system responds. Evolution threshold is approaching. The silent tactical ghost is developing independent battlefield command. A sovereign-grade authority core remains required. Tavian looks at Dorian's enormous chain. There is the missing core. The chairman's entire resurrection monopoly rests on one central command seal hidden beneath his private council chamber. Stealing it would not merely weaken Dorian, it would give Mira the authority structure needed to complete her evolution. Our necromancer rises. The banquet reaches its final announcement. Dorian steps onto the stage beside Vasca, Orson, and Sarah. All 4 place their hands against the golden case. The fake corpse vault opens. A pillar of black light rises through the guild hall. The crowd erupts. Every preservation relay across 21 floors activates simultaneously. Vasca declares the technology complete. Orson declares it legal. Sarah declares it secure. Dorian declares the beginning of a new age. Deep below them, one tiny light changes from gold to blue inside Alara's command engine. Nobody in the banquet notices. No alarm sounds. No corpse rises. No wall breaks. Mira simply turns one spectral hand. 8,046 preservation seals silently transfer their emergency priority from Dorian Kest to Tavian Rook. Our necromancer watches the final route lock into place. The entire machine is ready. 8,046 preservation seals fail in the same second. Across 21 floors, corpse vaults stop answering guild commands. Resurrection chambers lock their priests outside. Soul tax reserves reverse direction. Emergency relays turn blue. Then every legally preserved body beneath floor 50 opens its eyes. The banquet chandelier trembles. Vascarel looks up. The dead wyvern hearts inside the crystal frame begin beating. 1 pulse. 2. 3. Black light erupts through the guild hall. The golden case containing the false corpse vault cracks down the middle. A shock wave throws investors across the glass floor. Vasca lands beside the stage. Orson Pell loses 3 teeth against a marble pillar. Sarah Voss remains standing, but every emergency seal on her armor flashes blue instead of red. Dorian Kest does not fall. He stares at the broken bone strip. For the first time in decades, the chairman looks genuinely confused. Then the tower starts screaming. Emergency reports flood the hall. Floor 19 reports 200 preserved monsters breaking containment. Floor 24 loses control of its corpse elevators. Floor 38's resurrection temple locks itself and raises every stored soldier inside. Crown Descent's lower barracks report dead guild members attacking command officers. Commission vaults begin transferring soul crystals to an unknown destination. Martial barriers refuse Sarah's authority. The entire resurrection network is collapsing. No, that is what the villains think. In reality, it is finally obeying its true owner. Deep beneath floor 36, Tavian stands before Alara's command engine. Thousands of blue routes burn across the chamber. Each one exists because Vasca, Orson, Sarah, and Dorian willingly adopt the false formula hidden inside the black bone strip. See, the bait never contains portable resurrection technology. It contains a Graveclock relay mark disguised as a storage sequence. Every faction copies it. Every guild installs it. Every preservation chamber connects itself to Tavian's authority. The trap works because the villains build the cage around themselves. Our necromancer only closes the door. Mira floats above the engine. Her spectral visor shines like a narrow blade. Dominion cartography covers nearly half the chamber. Millions of tiny command threads overlap inside the map. Guild orders, martial clearances, commission contracts, resurrection licenses. All of them now pass through her. The silent ghost turns one hand. 300 corpse elevators reverse direction. She turns the other. Every private soul reserve under Dorian's control seals itself. A final gesture blocks the chairman from issuing emergency overrides. The unfinished crown above Mira's head becomes almost solid. Almost. The sovereign core is still missing. Tavian looks toward Dorian's private council chamber. Soon, back in the guild hall, panic becomes violence. Vasca grabs Orson by the throat. You changed the formula. The auditor claws at her wrist. I certified what your researchers submitted. Sarah draws her glowing chain. Both of you violated emergency protocol. Dorian raises one hand. Stop. Nobody listens. That tells him how bad the situation has become. A Crown Descent captain runs into the hall. Half his armor is missing. Guildmaster, the dead are taking the lower armory. Vasca releases Orson. How many? More than 400. Destroy them. We tried. The captain looks toward the broken bone strip. They resurrect again before the bodies hit the floor. Dorian's eyes narrow. He finally sees the pattern. Instant resurrection. Remote command. Repeated reactivation. Only one person has demonstrated all three. The chairman looks toward Tavian's corpse rack hanging on the wall. He survived. Vasca's face twists. That is impossible. Dorian points at the blue tower reports. No licensed necromancer can complete rituals at this speed. Orson stops wiping blood from his mouth. The porter. Sarah's glowing chain tightens in her hand. He fell into the shaft. Dorian looks at her coldly. You sealed him inside with the grave maw. The marshal steps closer. You released the beast. Vasca turns toward Dorian. Silence hits the hall. Then the guildmaster draws her sword. The chairman does not deny it. That is enough. Vasca attacks. Dorian's corpse guards intercept her blade. Sarah lashes her chain around Orson's leg. The auditor pulls a legal command seal from his robe and activates every debt-bound body in the room. Dozens of servants collapse. Then they rise with black eyes. The banquet explodes into absolute chaos. Investors crawl beneath tables. Guild captains fight commission guards. Marshals seal exits. Dead servants attack anyone carrying an authority mark. The four villains finally turn on each other exactly as Tavian predicts. Still, none of them can fix the network. Alara sends a false diagnostic message through the refinery. The preservation system identifies catastrophic origin code failure. Emergency repair requires the original Graveclock imprint. Registered origin bearer, Tavian Rook. Vasca reads the message twice. He is the only one who can restore control. Orson goes pale. We need him alive. Sarah looks toward the shattered windows. Then find him. Dorian's expression becomes completely still. The old man understands the humiliation. They abandon Tavian. They steal his work. They build an empire on his bait. Now they must beg the supposedly useless porter to save them from it. Honestly, that is where the trap becomes beautiful. A second message appears. Origin bearer detected inside Crown Descent territory. Every head turns toward the main doors. The doors open. Jory Fen walks inside. The rescued porter wears the same gray corpse coat from the banquet. No wounds remain on his body. A blue resurrection mark glows beneath his wrist. Vasca grips her sword. Where is Rook? Jory looks around the ruined hall. Then he smiles through a split lip. He says the useful people should leave first. Captain Bren Vark charges him. The floor breaks before Bren reaches the porter. Black claws punch through the glass. A dead corpse gorger erupts from below and catches the captain between its jaws. Bren screams. The beast hurls him across the hall. More cracks spread. One gorger rises, then 10, then 30. Their dead bodies crawl up the suspended fortress walls and surround every exit. Vasca's captains form ranks. Sarah activates the hall barriers. Nothing happens. The seals flash blue. Mira owns them now. The glass ceiling darkens. Hundreds of shapes move above it. Skeleton soldiers cling to the outer frame. Armored corpse guards stand across the suspended bridges. Dead tower beasts block every landing platform. The hidden army Tavian builds beneath the refinery finally emerges. 612 undead surround Crown Descent's headquarters. Not stored, not temporary, not stumbling, organized. The guild hall becomes silent. Then Tavian Rook walks through the open doors. His old coat is gone. Black bone plating covers his chest and shoulders. A strip of grave maw armor protects his left arm. The brass ownership tags once used for corpses now hang from his belt like command blades. Mira floats behind him. Her blue cloak fills the doorway. The headless scout walks at her side, copper compass blazing inside its chest. The elite Gorger Alpha lowers itself outside the hall. Its fused ribcage pulses with gray light. Vasca stares at Tavian. For a second, she cannot connect this figure to the porter beneath the corpse rack. Then our necromancer looks at the trophy hanging on her wall. The recognition hits her brutally hard. You. Tavian steps over the broken golden case. Dorian studies him with the focus of a man examining an impossible weapon. How many bodies do you control? Our guy does not answer. Orson tries a different approach. The commission can legitimize your class. Tavian keeps walking. We can issue a sovereign license. No response. Sarah raises her chain. You are standing inside a restricted emergency zone. Our hero finally stops. He looks at the marshal's dead seals. So are you. The first battle begins before anyone gives the order. Vasca launches herself from the stage. Her sword releases a massive silver arc. Tavian does not dodge. The strike cuts through 20 skeletons and slams him into a marble column. Bone armor shatters across his chest. Blood runs from his shoulder. Crown Descent captains charge. Commission corpse guards attack from the other side. Sarah's marshals throw binding chains across the floor. Dorian activates 12 licensed necromancers hidden among the banquet guests. Hundreds of enemy undead emerge from storage seals. Stage 1 hits hard. Tavian's front line collapses beneath the combined assault. Vasca cuts down 30 soldiers in a single sequence. Bren tears himself free from the Gorger's jaws and smashes the headless scout through a glass table. Mira's physical anchor loses one arm. Sarah's chains catch the elite alpha around its legs. Dorian's necromancers seize control of 6 standard skeleton units. Orson activates confiscation law. Red seals appear over every undead carrying commission-registered bones. Nearly half Tavian's army freezes. The villains see the hesitation. Their confidence returns instantly. Vasca drives her sword through our necromancer's side. The blade exits his back. She leans close. A porter should know when to stay beneath his betters. Tavian grips the blade with one hand. He does not pull it free. He looks past her. Stage 2 begins. Our guy reads the hall. Vasca's sword technique depends on the silver mana channels in the glass floor. Orson's confiscation law requires registered bone signatures. Sarah's chains share power through 4 emergency pylons. Dorian's necromancers synchronize their commands through the chairman's ring. 4 systems, 4 weaknesses. Mira's Dominion cartography maps all of them at once. The silent ghost rises above the battlefield. Her visor brightens. Blue lines cut through the hall. 1 line connects Vasca to the floor. 4 connect Sarah to the pylons. Dozens connect Orson to corpse registries. Every enemy necromancer connects to Dorian. Tavian recalculates. Then he moves. Our boy twists Vasca's sword deeper into his own side. The guildmaster loses balance. He breaks her wrist with 1 sharp motion. The silver blade falls. Tavian kicks it across the floor. It slices through the first emergency pylon. Sarah's chains flicker. A corpse gorger crashes into the second. An armored corpse guard destroys the third. Mira sends the headless scout toward the fourth. Bren intercepts it. He swings a massive axe. The scout ducks beneath the blade. 1 silver rope wraps around Bren's wrist. Another wraps around the pylon. Mira yanks both. The captain's own momentum tears the final anchor from the floor. Sarah's entire chain network collapses. Stage 3 ignites. Tavian releases his bone aura. Not across 1 corpse chamber, across the entire guild fortress. Death energy erupts through every blue preservation route connected to the building. The temperature crashes. Glass turns white. Living fighters lose strength. Enemy undead slow. Buffs disappear from Vasca's captains. The aura strips 20% from every hostile physical stat inside Mira's mapped territory. Then our necromancer activates Graveclock Relay. The skill first appears inside the corpse gorgers. 3 linked seals. 3 resurrections. A small chain. Now Tavian has hundreds of anchors spread across the hall. Skeletons, gorgers, corpse guards, dead servants, preserved bodies hidden beneath the guild floor. The relay jumps from 1 command seal to the next. 3 becomes 9. 9 becomes 27. 27 becomes 81. Every destroyed undead rises through another active seal. A skeleton explodes beneath Vasca's strike. It resurrects through the gorger behind her. The gorger falls to a commission spell. It resurrects through a corpse guard on the balcony. The guard shatters. Its seal jumps into 12 dead guild members stored beneath the stage. Bodies burst from preservation coffins. The chain keeps spreading. Graveclock Relay exceeds the previous safe length. Soul Strain reaches critical levels. Mira intervenes. Dominion cartography divides the massive relay into controlled branches. The Headless Scout commands the western formation. The Elite Alpha anchors the lower hall. 4 resurrected specialists control the balconies. Tavian holds the center. The unstable technique becomes an army-wide resurrection web. Every corpse inside Crown Descent's headquarters joins the network. The villains kill 10. 20 rise. They destroy 20. 50 return. Dorian's licensed necromancers lose control first. Their command lines disappear beneath Mira's blue map. Our hero raises 1 hand. Every enemy undead turns around. Dorian's ring cracks. The chairman stumbles backward. Orson attempts to confiscate the newly raised corpses. Tavian snaps the brass ownership tags from his belt. He throws them into the floor. Each tag carries the original Porter registry. Bodies marked for disposal. Bodies declared worthless. Bodies legally abandoned by the commission. Orson's own records recognize them as unowned. His confiscation law fails. Tavian looks at him. You threw them away. Then every discarded corpse attacks the auditor. Vasca roars and retrieves her sword. She channels the entire floor grid into 1 final strike. Mira raises a hand. The dead wyvern hearts inside the chandelier answer her authority. They detach from the crystal frame. 12 preserved hearts fall around Vasca. Tavian resurrects them in a single breath. Spectral wyvern heads erupt from the organs. They bite into the guildmaster's mana channels and steal her buff. Vasca's legendary silver aura transfers into Tavian's undead front line. 300 skeletons ignite with guild energy. The reversal is completely savage. Sarah tries to escape through an emergency door. The door seals in her face. Every martial barrier folds inward. She is trapped inside her own security field. Dorian retreats toward the private lift. The elevator opens. The elite Gorger Alpha waits inside. Its ruined chest spreads apart. Dozens of skeletal arms reach toward him. For the first time, Dorian Kest looks terrified. Stage 4 crashes down. The battle ends in less than 4 minutes. 183 hostile undead souls pour into Tavian's command core. 31 elite fragments follow. Vasca's stolen buff strengthens the armored corpse guards. Sarah's barrier seals become part of Mira's map. Orson's registry authority transfers into the brass tags. Dorian's shattered ring releases a fragment of the sovereign command core. The system calculates the harvest. Command capacity rises from 94 primary units to 137. Graveclock Relay evolves into a territorial resurrection network. Bone Aura reaches its second stable tier. 612 deployed undead advance to 698. Not one enemy remains standing. Vaska kneels with her broken wrist hanging at her side. Orson lies beneath a pile of discarded corpses. Sarah pounds uselessly against her own barrier. Dorian hangs inside the Elite Alpha's skeletal grip. The four villains stare at the army filling their guild hall. No one laughs now. No one calls Tavian a porter. They finally see his true power, and the worst part is obvious. He is still holding something back. Mira floats toward Dorian. The fragment from his shattered ring rises into her hand. Her unfinished crown reacts instantly. Blue fire spreads across the spectral frame. The sovereign-grade authority core begins merging with her soul. Evolution enters its final stage. Tavian looks at the four people who build an empire on his supposed death. Then he steps onto the broken stage. Now, the necromancer says, ask properly. Now, the necromancer says, ask properly. Nobody answers. Vascarel kneels beneath the shattered chandelier with one wrist hanging at an impossible angle. Orson Pell lies trapped under the corpses his own commission declares worthless. Saravos remains sealed inside a barrier that no longer recognizes her authority. Dorian Kest hangs between the skeletal arms inside the elite corpse-gorger's chest. 698 undead fill the ruined guild hall. Every balcony belongs to Tavian. Every exit belongs to Mira. Every preserved body inside Crown Descent's fortress carries a blue Graveclock seal. The battle should already be over. Dorian starts laughing. Quietly at first, then completely. Vaska looks toward him. What did you do? The chairman raises his head. Blood runs from the corner of his mouth, but his expression changes from terror to cold satisfaction. I remembered why porters should never touch systems they do not understand. Tavian's eyes narrow. Mira immediately expands Dominion cartography. The entire guild fortress appears inside the Soul Link. Command lines spread through floors, walls, elevators, and preservation chambers. Most glow blue. One does not. A thin white route descends from the ceiling. It passes through the guild fortress. It continues upward through 8 floors. Then it connects to Dorian's private council chamber beneath floor 40. The Sovereign Authority Core, the real one. The fragment inside Mira's hand is only a key. Dorian closes his fist. The shattered ring cuts into his palm. A drop of blood lands on the Elite Alpha's bones. Far above them, the hidden core activates. The tower announces an emergency judgment. Unauthorized resurrection contamination has been detected. Sovereign null right begins. Every undead in the hall stops moving. Not gradually, not one formation at a time, all at once. 698 command seals turn white, then they shatter. The backlash hits Tavian like a spear through the soul. He drops to one knee. Blood erupts from his nose, mouth, and ears. The skeleton soldiers collapse. The armored guards fall apart. The dead wyvern spirits vanish. Corpse gorgers slam into the floor. Even the Elite Alpha loses strength. Its ribcage opens. Dorian steps free. The chairman straightens his robe. Stage 1 begins with absolute destruction. The null right does not overpower Tavian's resurrection speed. It removes the tower's recognition of his dead. No registered corpse. No legal soul route. No resurrection target. A ritual completed 100 times faster still fails when the system refuses to acknowledge the body. Dorian looks at the fallen army. The tower gave necromancers authority. He walks toward Tavian. The commission decides when that authority exists. Vaska grabs her sword with her unbroken hand. Silver mana flows through the weapon again. Orson crawls free from beneath the discarded bodies. Every confiscation mark on his robe reignites. Sarah's barrier opens. The marshal steps out with murder in her eyes. 4 defeated villains rise together. Then the guild fortress receives reinforcements. The ceiling splits. Crown Descent's upper floor strike teams descend through emergency gates. More than 300 elite climbers enter the hall. Commission necromancers follow. Martial execution squads lock down every bridge. Orson's legal enforcers carry red soul hooks designed to capture rogue necromancers alive. Dorian has been keeping an entire army above the banquet. One final insurance policy. Vaska points her sword at Tavian. Break every bone. The strike teams charge. Our necromancer tries to stand. His right leg does not answer. A spear punches through his shoulder. A hammer crashes into his ribs. 2 execution chains wrap around his arms. The impact drags him across the glass floor. His bone armor breaks completely. Mira dives toward him. The null right hits her too. Her blue cloak tears apart. The unfinished crown above her head fractures. Dominion cartography shrinks from the entire fortress to a circle barely 10 feet wide. The headless scout attempts to move. Brenvark stomps through its spine. The copper compass rolls across the floor. Mira's physical anchor collapses. The ghost flickers. Dorian sees her. Recognition crosses his face. Well, he steps over the broken scout. Strategist Quill remains useful after death. Mira's visor burns brighter. The chairman smiles at her. You discovered the refinery contracts 4 years too early. Tavian stops struggling. Dorian continues. So Vasca gave you a route no strategist could survive. Vasca's expression changes, only slightly. Enough. Mira did not die because the Grave Maw raid went wrong. She dies because Dorian orders the raid. Vasca supplies the team. Sarah seals the exit. Orson prepares the corpse claim. Every movement on the bridge is planned. The monster is not merely an execution beast, it is an eraser. The old man crouches beside Tavian. She was supposed to disappear with the other bodies. Dorian glances toward Mira's fading form. Instead, a grave rat preserved the evidence. Something changes inside Tavian. Until this moment, every decision comes from calculation. Anger is inefficient. Revenge is useful only when it produces control. Loss is a condition to be measured. That is how our guy survives 6 years beneath people who treat him like equipment. Now the cold mask finally cracks, not into grief, not into panic. Into completely deliberate fury. Tavian looks at Dorian. The chairman stops smiling. Our necromancer does not hide the hatred in his eyes. He chooses it. He lets every enemy see exactly what waits for them. Mira remembers. 2 words. That is all. Yet the entire hall becomes colder. Dorian stands quickly. Remove his soul. Orson's enforcers drive their hooks forward. Red chains pierce Tavian's back. The hooks lock around his command core. Pain explodes through his body. The system throws warning after warning across his vision. Command network severed. Soul integrity falls below half. Resurrection authority remains suppressed. Companion bond destabilizing. Permanent death becomes possible. Vasca walks toward him. She raises her silver sword. The guildmaster is smiling again. Look at you. Her blade rests against his throat. Still carrying something heavier than your pride. Tavian does not look at her. He looks at the floor. Broken brass ownership tags lie among shattered bones. Discarded bodies cover the hall. Guild soldiers. Commission guards. Banquet servants. Preserved beasts. Hundreds of corpses. The null right marks every one of them white. Unusable. Unrecognized. Dead beyond command. Our hero breathes slowly. Stage 2 begins. The null right reaches the corpses through tower registration. Every white seal carries a name. A guild number. A corpse value. An ownership category. Dorian suppresses resurrection by declaring those registrations invalid. The system is not denying death, it is denying identity. That distinction matters. Mira sees it too. Her damaged Dominion cartography shifts. Instead of following command authority, the ghost traces registration routes. Every white seal connects to 4 sources. Vasca supplies guild identity. Orson supplies legal ownership. Sarah supplies floor jurisdiction. Dorian supplies resurrection recognition. 4 authorities create the null right. Remove one, and the system weakens. Remove all 4, and the tower loses the right to classify the corpses at all. Tavian looks toward the brass tags. Before becoming a necromancer, he spends 6 years labeling dead bodies. He knows exactly how the tower classifies remains. Claimed, preserved, taxed, abandoned, unknown. The final category carries no ownership route. Unknown bodies do not belong to the commission. They do not belong to guilds. They do not belong to floor marshals. The tower cannot invalidate an identity that never enters the registry. Our boy closes his fingers around one broken brass tag. Then he scrapes the ownership mark from it with his thumb. The corpse beside him loses its name. The white seal flickers. Dorian notices. Stop him. Vasca swings. Tavian moves his head. The blade cuts his cheek instead of his throat. Our necromancer slams the blank tag into the corpse's chest. The system reacts. Unregistered remains detected. Identity unknown. Resurrection becomes available. One breath. The corpse opens its eyes. A dead banquet servant grabs Vasca's ankle. The guildmaster falls. Tavian rips one soul hook from his back. He drives it through Orson's nearest enforcer. The man dies. Our guy tears the registry plate from the enforcer's armor. Mira understands the plan. The ghost points toward every brass tag inside the hall. Stage 3 ignites. Tavian activates Graveclock relay through the single unknown corpse. The resurrected servant grabs a second body. Its blank tag transfers. That corpse loses its registered identity. One breath. It rises. 2 unknown undead grab 4 bodies. 4 become 8. 8 becomes 16. The relay spreads like black fire. Every newly awakened corpse tears the ownership plate from the next. The null right tries to erase them. It cannot find their names. Vasca's guild registry begins collapsing. Orson screams. They are destroying the records. Our necromancer looks at him. That is what you call disposal. The relay reaches 32 bodies, then 64, then 128. Soul strain tears through Tavian again. His command core begins splitting. Mira places both hands against the silver thread connecting them. Dominion cartography expands. The ghost assigns no names, no ranks, no registered units. She reduces the entire army to routes. First route attacks, second route defends, third route transfers tags. Fourth route carries command energy. The tower sees unknown corpses. Mira sees a living battlefield. The sovereign fragment inside her crown begins pulsing. It recognizes an authority structure outside the tower's law. Not borrowed jurisdiction, not legal ownership, pure command. The evolution resumes. Blue fire erupts around Mira. Her spectral cloak breaks into thousands of glowing pathways. The unfinished crown shatters completely. For one terrifying second, the ghost disappears. Tavian feels the soul link go empty. Then every unknown corpse in the hall raises its head. A thin silver visor appears across all of their eyes. Mira is no longer standing in one place. She exists inside the entire formation. The system announces the completed evolution. The silent tactical ghost advances beyond elite rank. Sovereign cartographer awakened. Dominion cartography evolves into kingdom without borders. All units connected through the soul link may function as her anchors. Enemy authority routes within the mapped battlefield may be redirected, severed, or reversed after their structural weakness is identified. Mira does not gain a physical body. She gains hundreds. Every undead moves with her calculation. Every corpse becomes a viewpoint. Every command arrives without delay. The battlefield changes instantly. Vaska attacks one skeleton. 5 others move before her sword begins swinging. They trap her arm. A 6th steals the silver buff from her blade. Orson activates confiscation law. Mira reverses the legal route. Every red soul hook turns toward its owner. The enforcers are dragged across the floor. Sarah activates the fortress barriers. Kingdom without borders redirects them. Golden walls seal the martial execution squads inside separate cages. Dorian attempts to reinforce the null right. Mira follows the white route upward, through the guild fortress, across 8 floors, into the private council chamber. The headless scout's broken compass begins glowing. Every silver rope on its body rises. The corpse reassembles. It stands without a head, without one arm, and without half its spine. Still, it stands. Mira channels the entire battlefield through her oldest anchor. The scout grabs the copper compass. Then it throws the device into the open emergency gate. The compass travels upward through the authority route. 1 floor, 3 floors, 5 floors, 8. It enters Dorian's council chamber. The hidden sovereign core floats above a throne of white crystal. 12 preservation priests surround it. They do not see the copper compass land beneath the altar. Mira does. Kingdom without borders locks onto the core. The sovereign fragment inside her soul answers the complete authority. A blue route tears through the tower. Dorian feels it. His face loses all color. No. Tavian stands. The execution chains still hang from his back. His shoulder remains pierced. His ribs remain broken. He walks anyway. Dorian raises both hands. Wait. Our necromancer keeps coming. The chairman steps backward. This network can still be repaired. No answer. Dorian's voice cracks. The tower needs resurrection order. Tavian stops in front of him. For the first time, Dorian Kest begs. Command them to stop. Our guy looks directly into his eyes. Then he repeats the chairman's own words from the black iron bridge. You are not qualified to command the dead. Mira closes her hand through every anchor at once. The copper compass splits Dorian's sovereign core. The nullrite dies. Black resurrection energy detonates across the fortress. Every fallen skeleton returns. Every corpse gorger rises. Every shattered guard rebuilds itself. The 698 suppressed undead rejoin the unknown army. Graveclock relay expands through the entire building. More than 1,000 corpses stand under Tavian's command. Stage 4 becomes a massacre. The upper floor strike teams lose formation first. Bone aura crushes their physical stats. Stolen silver buffs ignite across undead weapons. Sarah's own barriers divide her marshals. Orson's hooks harvest commission necromancers. Vaska charges through the army alone. The elite alpha catches her between its fused skeletal arms. Brenvark tries to reach her. The headless scout intercepts him. Mira guides the corpse around every axe strike. One rope catches Bren's throat, another binds his knees. The scout pulls him face first into the floor. Then the copper compass returns through the emergency gate. It falls into the scout's chest. The entire sovereign cartographer enters her anchor for one decisive moment. Blue roots cover Bren's body. Every escape closes. The headless scout drives its remaining hand through his armor and tears out the guild command crest. Crown Descent's assault division loses authority. 300 climbers surrender at once. Mira drops the crest at Tavian's feet. Companion execution confirmed. The Sovereign Authority Core has been captured. 112 elite souls rise from the battlefield. 400 standard fragments follow. Tavian absorbs every one. His command capacity increases from 137 primary units to 204. Kingdom Without Borders establishes Crown Descent's fortress as conquered territory. Stored undead capacity exceeds 1,500. Graveclock relay reaches sovereign territorial tier. The final enemy formation collapses. Vaska hangs inside the Elite Alpha's ribcage. Orson is bound by his own confiscation hooks. Sarah kneels inside 12 overlapping emergency barriers. Dorian lies beneath the broken white root of his dead monopoly. None of them can fight. None of them can run. Mira reforms behind Tavian as a vast, faceless ghost wrapped in a cloak of moving blue maps. A complete silver crown floats above her visor. The headless scout kneels beneath her. Our necromancer looks across the conquered guild hall. This time, no hidden army remains. No emergency authority waits above. No legal route answers the villains. The strongest institutions beneath floor 50 belong to the dead they discarded. Tavian pulls Vaska's sword from the floor. He does not kill anyone. Not yet. Death would be far too simple. The four villains finally understand. The battle is over. The judgment has not even started. The judgment begins when every screen beneath floor 50 turns blue. Guild halls lose their advertisements. Marshal stations lose their emergency reports. Commission temples lose their resurrection prices. Even the Helix Tower's enormous ranking boards go dark. Then Mira Quill appears across all of them. Her faceless silhouette floats inside a cloak made from moving maps. A complete silver crown hangs above her spectral visor. Behind her, the ruined Crown Descent Guild Hall stretches across the broadcast. Thousands of climbers watch from 21 different floors. Porters stop pushing corpse carts. Necromancers lower their ritual staffs. Guildmasters abandon private meetings. Nobody understands how the dead strategist has seized every official channel in the lower tower. Dorian Kest understands. That only makes the terror worse. Mira raises one hand. Kingdom Without Borders expands through the entire Resurrection network. Every authority route becomes visible. Crown Descent's abandoned casualty lists. The Last Right Commission's hidden corpse sales. The Marshal Office's sealed execution orders. Dorian's debt contracts. Names cover the screens. Dates follow. Payments appear. Then the Grave Maw control order from floor 31 burns above everything else. Dorian authorizes the creature. Vaska supplies the raid route. Sarah prepares the barrier. Orson pre-registers the expected corpses as commission assets. The massacre is not an accident. It is an invoice. The tower sees every line. Vaska lunges toward the nearest screen. The elite corpse gorger tightens its skeletal arms around her. Her broken wrist bends farther. The guildmaster finally screams, "Turn it off!" Tavian stands at the center of the ruined stage. Blood still runs down his armor. Execution chains hang from his back. He leaves them there. They make the point better. Orson twists inside his confiscation hooks. This broadcast violates commission secrecy. Our necromancer looks at him. The auditor stops talking. Sarah pounds against the overlapping barriers surrounding her. Rook, release the emergency seals. No response. Dorian tries to rise. Mira redirects one broken authority route. The old man's knees hit the floor again. For decades, the chairman forces entire guilds to kneel with a signature. Now a dead strategist does it with one finger. Talk about efficient administration. Tavian lifts Vaska's silver sword. The weapon still carries the guildmaster's stolen buff. Hundreds of Crown Descent crests glow across its blade. Our guy drives it into the glass stage. Every crest detaches. They fly toward the undead surrounding the hall. Dead captains. Abandoned scouts. Shield bearers left inside sealed raids. Porters whose bodies are never returned. Each crest chooses the person who actually earned it. Vaska watches her guild authority disappear. No. Her voice breaks. I built Crown Descent. Mira opens the guild archive. 7 years of falsified casualty reports spread across the screens. Every failed raid becomes a profitable corpse claim. Every dead lower-ranked climber becomes equipment inventory. Every abandoned porter becomes a transportation loss. Tavian walks toward Vaska. The Elite Alpha opens its chest and drops her onto the floor. She tries to crawl away. 4 revenants block her path. Mira identifies them. They are the first climbers Vaska abandons after taking command of the guild. Their bodies are never recovered. Their families receive no compensation. Their names disappear from the official roster. Now all 4 stand in front of her. Vaska looks up at Tavian. We can divide the guild. Our hero keeps approaching. You can take the upper floors. Another step. I will recognize you as guildmaster. Tavian stops beside his old corpse rack. It still hangs on the wall as a trophy. He pulls it down. The metal frame hits the floor between them. Then our necromancer repeats Vaska's exact words from the black iron bridge. A porter is only useful when the bodies are heavier than his pride. Vasca goes completely still. Tavian attaches the corpse rack to her back. Black straps tighten around her shoulders. She tries to cut them. Her silver mana does not answer. Mira transfers the stolen guild buff into the rack instead. The frame grows heavier. 4 abandoned revenants climb onto it, then 10, then 37. Every climber left behind during Vasca's rise attaches to the burden. The weight should crush her instantly. Graveclock energy refuses to let her die. Her bones break. Tavian resurrects them before she falls. Her muscles tear. The ritual repairs them in one breath. She takes one step, then another. Vasca screams as the rack forces her toward the guild's highest suspended bridge. Every surviving Crown Descent member watches. The woman who builds her empire by leaving weaker people behind now carries every abandoned body herself. She will cross each guild bridge, every floor, every casualty route. The rack will add another corpse whenever Crown Descent's records reveal a hidden death. No officer salutes her. No guild crest recognizes her. Vasca Rel becomes the final porter of the institution she steals. Her screams fade into the upper corridor. Tavian turns toward Orson. The corpse auditor begins shaking. His confiscation hooks hold both arms against the floor. Still, the man tries to sound official. The commission can amend the registrations. Our hero walks closer. All previous rulings can be reversed. Orson swallows. Those people can receive compensation. The discarded corpses around him begin rising. Miners with missing fingers. Scouts sold without names. Children registered as low-grade soul material. Unclaimed climbers processed inside Dorian's refinery. Orson recognizes the numbered chains around their bones. For years, he decides which body is valuable, which soul receives preservation, which family earns the right to bury what remains. He looks toward Tavian. Do something. The words escape before he can stop them. Our necromancer crouches beside him. Then he gives Orson back the command from floor 31. Do something, grave rat. The auditor's face empties. Tavian removes the red registry tablet from Orson's belt. Every corpse value the man ever assigns appears across its surface. Platinum, gold, silver, bronze, trash. Our guy presses Orson's hand against the final category. The tablet scans him. Living authority detected. Commission ownership confirmed. Tavian changes one line. Asset status, abandoned. Orson screams as his legal identity disappears. His name vanishes from the commission. His titles vanish from the tower. His property seals open. Every soul crystal he confiscates returns to its recorded owner. Every unpaid corpse claim empties his private accounts. Every resurrection tax reverses. The accumulated cost becomes debt. The number climbs beyond anything a human life can repay. Orson looks at the screens. No institution will recognize this. Mira turns her hand. Every commission seal accepts the ruling. His own laws make it permanent. The discarded dead surround him. They do not tear him apart. That would end too quickly. Each corpse places one hand against his body. A tiny piece of Orson's soul transfers into its missing registration. One fragment restores a miner's name. Another restores a scout's family record. Another cancels a child's corpse debt. Thousands of stolen identities rebuild themselves using the auditor's soul as legal payment. Orson becomes smaller with every correction. His memories disappear first, then his voice, then his face. The final fragment enters the tablet. The commission registers the remaining residue at the value Orson assigns to unwanted bodies, 0. The red hooks collapse around an empty robe. No corpse remains to resurrect. Sarah Voss sees it happen. The floor marshal immediately stops demanding release. She starts bargaining. The emergency office can serve under new authority. Golden barriers tremble around her. I can secure every floor beneath 50. Tavian approaches. Sarah straightens despite the fear in her eyes. She still believes authority has value after the person holding it loses control. Our boy looks through the barrier. On floor 31, the black iron bridge appears across Mira's map. The repaired emergency gate stands at the same place Sarah seals during the Grave Maw attack. Dozens of trapped climbers die against that wall. The marshal calls it procedure. Tavian opens a Graveclock route. The entire barrier cage moves. Sarah disappears from the guild hall. She reappears on the black iron bridge. Thousands of viewers follow through the tower broadcast. The marshal stands on the safe side of the Golden Gate. Ghosts begin appearing on the other, not undead soldiers, witnesses. Every climber who dies inside one of Sarah's sealed emergency zones presses against the barrier. Some are missing limbs. Some still carry broken weapons. All of them remember her face. Sarah backs away. The barrier saved more people than they killed. Mira displays the records. Emergency gates remain closed after threats end. Rescue teams are denied access. Poor climbers are listed as containment losses. Guild officers receive private evacuation routes. The marshal chooses who counts. Tavian appears beside her through the relay network. Sarah looks at him. For the first time, she lowers her head. Please. Our necromancer repeats both sentences she gives him on the bridge. Stay behind the line, Grave Rat. The gate begins closing around her. Sarah presses both hands against the light. Tavian adds the second sentence. The tower does not count your kind as climbers. Mira removes Sarah's climber registration. The golden barrier no longer detects a human inside. It detects an unauthorized obstruction. Emergency compression activates. Sarah screams as the walls tighten. She orders them to stop. The barriers do not recognize her voice. Her martial armor fuses with the control pylons. Her glowing chains become power lines. Her soul stretches through every emergency gate beneath floor 50. From that moment forward, Sarah cannot close a barrier while a living climber remains on the wrong side. Each attempted violation sends the trapped person's pain directly through her. She becomes the permanent safety mechanism of the office she corrupts. Not a marshal, not a climber. A piece of infrastructure. The black iron gate opens. The ghosts walk through her. Then they disappear. Only Dorian remains. The chairman kneels beneath Mira's broken white authority root. No guards stand beside him. No commission priests answer. No debt workers carry his commands. For the first time in decades, Dorian Kest possesses nothing except his own soul. Naturally, he tries to sell that too. Tavian, the chairman forces his voice to remain calm. The upper tower contains things far worse than me. Our necromancer walks toward him. Ancient necromancers, floor sovereigns, creatures the registry cannot classify. Dorian points toward Mira. That authority core is incomplete. I know how to stabilize it. The sovereign cartographer floats behind Tavian. Her silver crown remains perfectly steady. Dorian sees the answer. He changes tactics. I can give you every resurrection route above floor 50. Tavian stops. Hope flashes across the old man's face. Then our hero looks toward Alara Wren. The engineer enters the hall with 219 former debt workers behind her. Dorian's hope disappears. Alara carries a silver mask, the same mask he forces her to wear beneath the command engine. The workers bring the original contract core. Black threads crawl across its surface. Dorian begins struggling. No. Tavian stands in front of him. Then he repeats the chairman's words exactly. You are not qualified to command the dead. Dorian's face turns white. Our necromancer continues. You are barely qualified to carry them. The debt workers place their hands on the core. Every stolen contract activates in reverse. Dorian's soul connects to the people he enslaves. He feels every year taken from them, every stripped memory, every body processed while still carrying identity, every family charged for a resurrection he secretly sabotages. The chairman screams. Tavian does not look away. Mira severs Dorian's authority route from the tower. Alara places the silver mask across his mouth. The contract core begins removing memories, not randomly, methodically. The name of each victim disappears from Dorian only after returning to its rightful owner. Stolen techniques leave him. Hidden routes leave him. Private codes leave him. The knowledge inside his monopoly spreads across the liberated workers. Dorian becomes less powerful with every second, then less intelligent, then less human. He reaches toward Tavian. No plea escapes through the mask. Our necromancer presses one hand against the chairman's chest. The final sovereign seal comes free. Dorian's body collapses. His empty soul remains trapped inside the contract core. It contains no name, no authority, no memory. Only raw energy. Alara feeds it into the refinery engine. The machine runs for the first time without enslaved workers. Dorian Kest becomes fuel for the resurrection network he monopolizes. The tower does not announce his death. Mira deletes his existence from every authority map. Judgment ends before midnight. By morning, the lower Helix Tower operates under completely different rules. Crown Descent dissolves. Its surviving teams reorganize beneath the captains who actually fought beside them. The Last Right Commission loses exclusive resurrection authority. Its temples become service stations connected directly to Graveclock routes. Emergency barriers reopen. Corpse debts disappear. Porters receive combat floor status because Tavian needs trained recovery units, not disposable labor. The change is not charity. Our necromancer simply refuses to waste useful people. Resurrection windows no longer last 60 seconds. Mira's network catches souls the instant a registered climber dies. Tavian can restore hundreds before the tower absorbs them. The price is not money. Every resurrected climber owes one future service to the Graveclock network. Scout a route. Defend a floor. Recover a body. Supply a rare soul fragment. The tower calls the system ruthless. Nobody calls it unfair. Within 3 months, survival rates beneath floor 50 triple. Guild expansion accelerates. Abandoned districts reopen. The hidden refinery becomes the Graveclock Nexus, a massive command station connecting every legal resurrection chamber in the lower tower. Tavian does not sit on a throne. He stands before an enormous vertical map of Helix Tower. Blue routes climb from floor 1 toward the darkness above floor 50. More than 1,500 undead wait inside compressed seals beneath the platform. The elite Gorger Alpha guards the freight tunnels. The headless scout stands beside Mira, its copper compass now pointing upward. The sovereign cartographer floats above the tower map. Her silver visor fixes on an unregistered floor route. Something ancient moves beyond it, something powerful enough to erase Dorian's oldest expedition. Tavian places one brass ownership tag against the glowing path. A new system alert appears. God-level Graveclock Authority detects an unclaimed sovereign corpse above floor 50. Estimated resurrection difficulty is unknown. The necromancer's expression does not change. Around him, bells ring across the entire lower tower, not death bells. Deployment bells. Undead formations enter the elevators. Recovery teams lock their equipment. Mira opens the first forbidden route. Before stepping inside, Tavian looks once at the functioning resurrection network beneath him. Then our guy gives the tower its new law. Cause and consequence are simple. Whoever builds the mechanism eventually enters it. The elevator rises,